immigrant.
Always so bad. I've only been up here talking for like 5 minutes. Good job, Woke. Good job. I forget when I'm editing that I turn my mic off because every once in a while, one of the funniest things is when I'm editing a video. God damn it. I'm editing a video and then I go back and you can hear me talking to my wife over the video. Ah! What's up, guys? Yep, drink. Jess, I was just thinking about you on the drive home. How's the knee, Jess? I'm hoping the knee is doing okay. We got it. You know what I think Joe Biden should do with his presidential immunity powers? Get Jess a knee surgery, okay? Donkron, Mike, Woke, Jess, everybody. It's good to see you guys. I was saying, Mike, that you need to start getting seasonally appropriate cat asshole Donald Trump mouth pictures. I think that's what you should do. Still weak, but you're coping? I heard tequila is good for knee problems. That's just, it's not medical advice. Allegedly. Allegedly, we're going to watch this video too. I want you guys to watch this video with me. I got home like right
I never
as I
thought
was
that the
supposed to
shirt I
be.
wore to school one spring morning would lead to a federal lawsuit, but the reaction from the adults were...
Calm down, kid.
Assault.
I was in an interview with maybe a new hire, a potential new hire, and she kept asking me questions. It was like, I gotta go. I gotta stream. I gotta get to. That's how you get knee problems, is from tequila. Yeah, no doubt, right? Yeah, so quite a bit going on right now. Obviously, we've got some rather ridiculous decisions from the Supreme Court, which we talked about a little bit on Monday already. I have to say this. The hypocrisy of the conservative values, at this point, I just don't think there's any conservative values, right? Like, I don't think, like, small government out the window, right? With the Supreme Court, you know, I'm sorry, Supreme Court decisions, small government out the window. Project 25, you know, make it a completely religious Christian nation that no one gets to, you know, have any freedoms in, out the window. At this point, I'm not sure what the fuck conservatives stand for. I think they lost, like, losing. Okay, so losing to Barack Obama was really hard for them, right? Like, losing to Barack Obama and having a black man as their president triggered them hard enough to create the Tea Party, right? But then, like, losing to old ass Joe Biden, I think just completely broke their minds. It was like they got hit with the right jab, and then with the left cross. That was Barack Obama's first and then second presidency. And then that uppercut that they didn't see coming, I think it broke their goddamn brains. You put it in Discord? It could. I need to spend more time reading. But it's like legitimately already insane what I have read, though. Like, you guys, I'm sure you guys all saw the dude say it. We're in the midst of a second revolution, and it will be bloodless if the left allows it. I have been on here for how long now saying a second civil war is the stupidest idea that you could possibly have. But at this point, I think the stupidest idea would be to have these people, like, to go unfettered into 2025 with the ability to fucking potentially create the Handmaid's Tale. And look, I'm a white dude. There's not a lot to fear for white dudes. And I'm telling you, I'm not okay with this shit. All right? It's insane. Once again, I would never say that I hope that that man gets hit by a bus on his way home from work. I would never say I hope he eats undercooked chicken and gets food poisoning that's crippling and perhaps causes him to go to a hospital where they know who he is and they don't treat him accurately and he potentially gets the wrong medicine that then causes his heart to fail. I would hate if that happened. Never would like those things. Wouldn't want to see those things. You couldn't find your real cat, but I like that one. I like that one. You have some high-proof gin? Good job, Jess. Good job, Jess. It's the only way we can cope nowadays. Bucket! The technical difficulty summoned Bucket to the house. Coming for your black jobs! Goddamn right. I don't know what those are. I don't even know if I want them. I've known a lot of black people in my life, and I'm not sure what the job is that they have. You know, I'm not sure whether do I want the job is the question. You know, I grew up with a lot of Latinos. I knew what Latino jobs were. And that shit looked hard. All right? Those Latino dudes, they outwork my ass like 10 hours a day. Okay, I ain't got no fucking chance taking that job. All right? I'm soft. I've got a managerial position. I've reached my peak bald white man potential. I can't work another job now. Fucking figs, exactly. What's up, Scott? Anyways, I'm still trying to figure out if this is like, is this what are the Trump supporters correct? Are we in a weird movie? Because at this point, it feels like it's like some type of fetish porn, right? It feels like some kind of masochism that we have 50% of America that has not figured out whether or not they want to vote for an old dude that got a bunch of shit accomplished, or an old dude that is potentially whacked out of his goddamn mind, and that has the people that are supporting him saying things like, we are about to enter a second revolution that will be bloodless as long as the left... Like, that's like someone saying that they're going to sexually assault you, and they are like, it won't hurt unless you make it hurt. Like, motherfucker, I don't want to get fucked! Insane. Fucking insane. This isn't real life. This isn't real life. How are we here? How is 50% of our country so goddamn broken that they're like, I don't know if I want to vote for that guy because he stutters and loses his train of thought. I mean, look, I'll give it to you, man. I'll give it to you. If that was Nikki Haley up there, I'd understand. If that was Ron DeSantis' lizard ass, I would understand. I'd be like, man, fuck. God damn it, Joe. I love you, bro, but why? Right? No, it's Donald Trump. It's wacky that these people, 50% of America, voters in America, are like, well, I don't know. Dude just said, you know, he did say it wouldn't be a bloodbath if you guys, you know, left it alone. If you guys just went quietly into the dark. If you just let him stick it right in your butt. Don't worry, it won't be bloodless. Or it will be bloodless. Their brains are scrambled. I don't understand. You better not woke, okay? I'm on here working all the goddamn time, okay? I have you guys know, I thought about streaming like every day, okay? I thought about it. Fuck. What's up, Dark Cash? I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, what gets through these people? So, okay, have you guys seen Have you guys now seen this one right here? Let's go to it. Let's go to it right here. God damn it. It's almost football season. They're fucking ruining it for me right now. It's almost football season. Do not ruin this for me. God damn it, man. Have you guys seen this shit? Weinstein and Howard. Have you guys seen this one? This Eric Weinstein. So I think that there's possibly something to this. Okay, I don't know, but I have a theory, and I'm gonna put this in the chat. And I know you guys aren't Rogan fans. I understand that. Rogan's lost his goddamn mind. He's off the deep end. Okay, but this shit right here. Okay, you guys should watch this shit. And the reason I'm saying, and maybe we should just fucking, it's a 4-hour podcast. Maybe we should sit here and watch this and just break it down. Because I know people were mad at Weinstein for saying shit about the Wuhan lab. Some things that I actually agree with. I know people got mad at him because, you know, he tends to be a little bit of a flip-flopper on some of the calling out conspiracy bullshit. But Eric Weinstein is actually a really intelligent guy. And he saw Terrence Howard saying the stupid shit Terrence Howard was saying on Joe Rogan's podcast. And he decided to be a good person and show up and attempt to convince Terrence Howard that he might be mildly insane. And one of my favorite parts of watching this, and I haven't finished it all, but of watching this, was the part where he looks at Terrence Howard and he goes, "Look, man," he goes, "Yeah, some of the stuff you say is really good." And he goes, "And I can tell by your enunciation, the way you pronounce words, that you've taught yourself." That's kind of like a backhanded compliment, right? That's how people talk about me, because I mispronounce certain words because I learned them from reading. But he's right? Like, he can tell, like, that Terrence Howard has spent way too much time on the internet looking up shit, and that's why he thinks he knows all these things. It's Dunning-Kruger in full effect. And Weinstein goes, "I get it. You feel pretty passionate about these things. You've woven together the idea of science and some of this woo-woo spiritual shit, and you think you've come upon something." And he goes, "And in science, we have become a little too strict, a little too exclusive." But he's like, for good reason. And so he tries to use the Socratic method, and he tries to ask him questions, and he tries to, like, he does what managers do. So when you're giving somebody criticism, you're always taught to give them, like, they did 2 good things, and then you tell them about the 1 bad thing they did. And there's some really funny parts in this where he says to Terrence Howard, he goes, "Your ideas are all over the place." He's like, "There are some ideas that I look at and I go, wow, that's really intuitive of him. That's really good for a person who doesn't have a formal education." And he goes, "And then there's other ones that I'm like, this person right here is batshit crazy." And I'm not making that up. That's what he says to him. There's a couple times where Terrence Howard kind of goes off on something, and he goes, "But do you see why I think that you're full of shit when you say that?" And I really do think, guys, that there's something to this. Maybe this is like a reality TV show that we start doing, and we bring us on a crazy Trump supporter, and we sit them down, and we attempt to deprogram them. I don't know that I want to do that. It sounds extremely frustrating. And watching this podcast of Weinstein trying to deprogram Terrence Howard and be like, no, like, you could actually, like, do something with some of your knowledge if you really tried and stopped with all the bullshit. And this is literally how I feel. You guys have heard me say this, Trump supporters, all the time. You guys want to talk about the border? There's tons of stuff we can talk about the border. You guys want to talk about taxes and how sometimes they're misused? There's tons of stuff we can talk about taxes and how they're misused. You want to talk about how politicians getting money from big corporations? There's tons of it. We can talk about all of those things. But you guys always go off into fucking crazy town. And it's all attributed to your love for your cult leader. And if we could get past it, we got to have, like, real conversations. And this is, like, how I feel constantly in dealing with Trump supporters. I feel like Weinstein trying to talk to Terrence Howard. Definitely not as smart as Weinstein, just so you guys know. Dude, the Lions were good last year. Lions were great last year. I was rooting for you, Dark. The Conservative Party of England fucked our country. It's probably true. Or just our county. Might have just been our county. That could be true, too. You still have an MTG hangover? No, I won't do it to you. I won't do it to you.
Yes or no?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'll take it. Why not? Yeah. Hi.
I only got one, so if you don't want it, it's fine.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, they were great. They were great last year. I just want to get back to the fun part. That's all I'm trying to go for. Yeah, it does depend on which faction of Trump supporter it is, Bucket. That's the problem. Is it's like a fucking grab bag with the Trump supporters. You don't know which one you're gonna get. You don't know if you just getting the one that just hasn't looked into anything and they just think that Trump isn't that bad. You don't know if it's gonna be the skin suit Donald Trump supporter that thinks that Joe Biden actually isn't Joe Biden. You don't know if it's just a doomer that everything they believe is everything is bad and everything is corrupt and everything is going to shit. It's a grab bag. And I just don't know if I have the patience left to sit on camera with a person and try to convince them that they're crazy and that if they wanted to like just back it down a notch, we could talk about real shit. We could talk about the things that are actually wrong with our country. Yeah, CNN is gross right now, okay? What's up, Jeannie? How's it going? But I want to get to a point, specifically with this channel, where we get to talk about real things in this country that are actually a problem. Where we can get away from these exaggerations and the hyperbolic talk and the bombastic words and the border is completely open and there's 10 to 40 million immigrants coming across the border every year. Like, I want to get to a point where we can literally look at each other and go, there are problems with the border that we need to discuss. There are problems with population decline that we need to discuss. There are problems with marginalized communities being oppressed and not given equal footing to succeed, and how that can be better for the entirety of society. I want to get to that point. But until Trump and all the fucking weird people that can't like have a single solitary logical thought in their head go away, it's like they suck the goddamn air out of the room. I am totally trying to become Jewish, so if you can make that happen, Rebel, make it happen. I don't know. Do they accept gingers into the Jewish society? Because I could use some Judaism in my life. Why does our population go up 2.5 million? You have 10 million are coming. Well, because they can't. Because they're all full of shit woke. That's what I'm saying. It's like, God damn it, man. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if we could actually have a actual regular ass conversation about the border, where we talked about like the realities of having people come across the border and join society in a legitimately like good way, instead of starting to have a conversation with somebody where you're like, okay, so do you understand the process of how someone is paroled once they enter the country, and how if we had more justice, and they're like, there's like 10 to 40 million people coming across every day. Do you like the fact that they are sexually assaulting children? They're like, brother, my brother in Jesus. My brother in Jesus. How the fuck are we supposed to have a conversation about that? Oh, man. What's up, OJ? What's going on? I hunger for real conversation. I wish to be able to discuss the legitimate woes of America at the same time as recognizing that we have moved forward so far from where we were 250 years ago, and that we can pat ourselves on the back and tell ourselves how good we did, but also say there's so far to go, and recognize that certain things do need to be talked about, do need to be worked on. Genetics say black-haired parents have a better chance of having a red-haired child. Make Jewish red-haired. Okay, all right, then I might have an in. I might have a solid in. I might be able to make it. Biden changed the law so anybody can vote with an ID. That's not... See, that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine if we could have a conversation, guys, about voter IDs where you could say, hey, can I show you the law? And the person would look at the law with you. And you could go, see how in California, when I apply for my registration to vote, what they do is I have to upload my ID, or I have to go to a place and show my ID. And then once I'm registered, even after I'm registered, I still have to sign, this ballot, and then they're going to check my signature. And you could have a legitimately regular conversation where the person could go, okay, well, that actually all looks good, and I understand from your point of view that you think that that's a pretty secure way to go about this. But what if I brought up a couple instances where you may think that it's secure, but I think it might not be. And then you could, have a back and forth. But instead, what you get nowadays is you go, well, I think that legitimately people are providing identification to vote, and here's my proof of it. And the other person looks at you and goes, oh, yeah? Is that because you're trying to get immigrants to come across the border? They're terrorists, military-aged men that are coming across the border to vote for Joe Biden. It's like, fuck, how are you supposed to have a conversation with that person? Jeez, it's like we can't get there. What's up, Redunk? You're racist. How dare you come on here and call me racist? Hey, what's up, LB? LB in the house. LB always a celebrity. A fascist USA would be very bad. I don't think people realize how much power we have. Hey, don't you dare call LB a porn bot. Don't you dare. LB's OG. LB's been around for a long time. Show your ID when you register to vote. Yeah, I know. That's all I'm saying, man. No, that's understandable, Jess. It's understandable. Gotta check on people nowadays. Do you know, though, like, God damn it, Rebel. Freemasonry control the law enforcement. You guys can't have normal conversations, man. You guys are addicted to the drug called conspiracy theory, and there's no getting better. I don't know the rehab that you guys need to go to. I'm trying to figure out how we make this happen. How do we make this? I wonder if this is here. Let's watch this. I wonder if we can watch just a little bit of this, or if Joe Rogan's gonna
Shopping
DMCA
for tires used to be like pulling teeth. That was before I went to TireRack.com.
Oh, we're having internet
TireRack's
problems
tire
today,
decision guide made it easy to drill down to the right
Sorry,
tires.
TireRack.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
So
Jesus Christ,
to
Rebel.
claim that a guy
course
can't do
we are
engineering
rushing out.
on platonic solids and come up with something new, the Rubik's Cube, the Haberman's switch pitch,
Hold on.
these things
No, this
prove
isn't what I'm looking
that that's
for.
not true.
I think it's a foolish thing almost always to pretend there's nothing new under the sun. You
Well-
should always consider it.
Well, the
You might not be correct.
No, this isn't. I'm looking for the one. Neil Tyson went over everything he did in peer reviewing Terrence Howard's article. And after that, Terrence Howard complained and said that Neil Tyson had not done these things, that he had not responded to his emails, yada, yada, yada. And so Weinstein isn't here to defend Neil Tyson. He's here to defend reality, the honest mathematical reality of where Terrence Howard is wrong. And obviously Weinstein is incredibly well respected within the mathematics community for his abilities. And there's certain parts where you can see that he's had enough of Terrence's bullshit, and he just feels the need to call it out because as a scientist, it's his responsibility to do so. It is his responsibility to do so, and he does it well. There's a really poignant part where Rogan says, you can take your jacket off, and Weinstein's like, no, I'm wearing the jacket because I came here to be professional. And it really says something about the three parts of our society right now. You have the experts wearing their jackets and saying, hey, I'm here to explain things to people. I'm trying to fix this situation. I'm trying to show you guys where people are right, where people are wrong. Then you have the Terrence Howard in his hoodie, rocking the cornrows, looking like he's kind of stoned, who's got wild ideas. And let's just be honest. These people want to get to a point where they believe they think what they think is true, and then they just want to move on. They don't want to research it any further. They don't want to get into any kind of peer review. They don't want to hear about how they could be wrong. They just want to move on and just believe that they're right. And then Joe Rogan is the part of our society that's like, well, can't we just drink whiskey and smoke weed and like have a good time? And that's probably the majority of America, right? But the problem is that Weinstein isn't there to drink whiskey. He isn't there to smoke weed. He's there to say that there is something that is factually incorrect about what you're saying, and I'm going to try to say it to you in the nicest way so that way you might learn something from this shit. But this is like, it's the epitome of what our society is right now. Is one person that's an expert going, hey, hold on, here are these facts. The other person going, no, my facts are just as good as your facts, even though I have less education, less knowledge, less experience, less expertise. And then there's some dude that's always there going, you know what, guys, let's not fight about it. Let's just, hey, he can be right and you can be right, right? Wrong! It's wrong! You can't! You can't! Rebel, dog. You're definitely a commie. Your name is Rebel Soldier. You're 100% a commie, dog. Redonk, shut the fuck up. God damn it. I hate you guys. I hate you guys so much. Experts need to have humility as well. You know why they don't have humility? Because they're so tired of you fucks. Every time an expert has any humility, you guys get an inch, you take a fucking mile. That's why they can't. It's your fault they don't have humility. Jesus. Yeah, and you know who proves them wrong? It's not you. It's not fucking you. They're the only reason you have shit. Good God. Oh my God. You guys are driving me nuts. You're driving me nuts. Experts need to have humility. Every time an expert has humility, you watch this fucking podcast, Redonk. You watch this shit. What happened every time Weinstein had even given like an inch of space for Terrence Howard? He took that shit further and further and further until once again, Weinstein had to check his ass. Every time in this conversation, Terrence Howard would get an inch, he would take a mile, and then Weinstein had to check his ass again. I'm losing it. The fucking doomers and the my information is as good as your information people are ruining this fucking country. You're ruining it. We had a good fucking thing going. We were doing great. Shit was going well. And then a bunch of motherfuckers got on the internet and decided they're the smartest motherfuckers in the world. You didn't finish it? I didn't finish it either. Yeah, if all the experts left, we'd be left with fucking dipshits on the internet that have read memes and watched TikToks of other dipshits telling them the stupidest shit they could possibly fucking believe. And we'd be a literal nation of idiocracy. This idea. Every fucking person. I could run this company just as good as the guys that run. I could run it better than him. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you fucking can't. Well, I'd be just as good as a politician. I'd be a better politician. Yeah, what the fuck do you know about legislation? What do you know about writing policy? What do you know about economics? What do you know about the law? Nothing. Zero. Shit. Absolute shit. Exactly. We'd be eating dirt and wiping our asses with straw. That's exactly what we'd be doing. Because there's people that have spent their whole fucking lives learning how to do things, learning how to be good at them, learning how to be better human beings so that way other humans can benefit from it. And what do? I was on the internet for 15 minutes. I know something that you don't. No, you fucking don't. What the fuck have you created? Nothing. You create shit in a toilet. It's fucking nuts. Jesus Christ. You drive me nuts. Exactly. Do you take your car to a mechanic or a roofer? Jesus Christ. You're ruining society. You are. It's fucking, we're here because of a bunch of dumb motherfuckers that think they know more than the people that have spent their entire fucking lives educating themselves, becoming experts in their field, putting in work. And they're like, I watched a TikTok, so I'm smarter than you. Why is it every time, Redunk? Why is it every time that people send me shit, it's wrong? Why is that true? If it's true that you guys are right sometimes, why is it every time one of you guys sends me shit, it's verifiably incorrect? Why does that keep happening? That's weird. That's weird that people that claim that they know more than experts know send me shit non-fucking stop, and every single time it's incorrect. Explain that shit to me. Explain it. Yeah, but these are the people you're defending, Redonk. Yeah, I know you, and I love you, Redonk. I do. And I love a lot of the fucking people that come in here and say stupid shit. I do. Because they're human beings, and I have empathy for them. But you're making shit worse. Because there's a saying, it's something like unless everything is true as nothing is true, whatever the fuck that is. It's like the idea that in society, once we decide that we have the right to question every single person, regardless of their education, expertise, or experience, and our lack thereof, that things fall apart. And that's where we're at. We're at the portion of our society where your average everyday person thinks they know more about viruses than Fauci, that they know more about war than General Mattis, that they know more about mathematics than Harvey Weinstein. I hope you know more about it. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Harvey Weinstein might know more than you. Eric Weinstein. The problem, Redonk, is you're defending these people. You're defending the right to be stupid. And that is a problem. Because if we were the 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th nation in the world, if we had very little power, if we had very little influence on the rest of the globe, I probably wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, whatever. Let's go idiocracy. Let's have people body slamming people through tables, jerking off while watching Ouch My Balls, whatever. But America is the #1 superpower in the world. We have influence. We have ability. We can be positive. We can be negative. We can be helpful. We can be hurtful. And all of those things should be talked about. And the average person should get to talk about them. That's true. But when the average person believes that by looking at TikToks and memes and spending a couple hours on the internet researching videos, that they know more than the top virologists in the nation about viruses, you've lost your fucking mind. He doesn't have to be a great leader of science. That's not his job. It's not his job. Why does he have to be a great leader of science? It doesn't make any sense. That's not what he's there for. And that's what I think so many people get wrong. So many people get wrong what other people are supposed to do. So many people in this election think that Joe Biden is going to do every job in the election, that Donald Trump is going to do every job. And that's not true. It can happen. You can have presidents that do like to dip their hand in every single thing, or you can have presidents that manage things well. It's just became this idea right now where everybody thinks that they know everything. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. Yeah, I would 100% listen to somebody with 40 years in a job. But whose second opinion, Redonk? Whose second opinion? Whose second opinion? Yours? Your wife's? My wife's? Mine? No. You don't get to have a second opinion. What, one random ass scientist? Out of 10,000? No, I'm listening to 9,999 over one. No case can you show me. You can't show me a single piece of evidence or proof that shows that there is ever even close to a majority on the side of the topic that you want to appeal to. You can't. It's verifiable. And this is what drives me nuts. It's like I said about the voter thing. I can literally say to you, you will say, all of these immigrants are voting illegally. And I'll say, okay, how are they doing that? Well, they don't have to show ID. And then I can say, okay, hold on. Let's look at this. Here's where you have to show your ID. Here's the process. Well, no, they're doing these other things. Okay, what things? This thing. Okay, let me show you where you're wrong about that. I prove you wrong, or can prove you wrong, over and over and over and over and over again. Yet for some reason, you think you should still get an opinion, or you should have some type of ability to speak on the subject. I'm a dumbass, and I'm proving you wrong. So where does that put you in the area of somebody like Fauci? Where does that put you in someone like Weinstein? Thunder, I can prove you wrong over and over and over and over again. Every fucking one of you. I do it every week, 3 times a week. But you won't admit it. That's the funniest thing about all of this shit, is you guys can't admit a single fucking thing. That's weird. It's weird. It's weird. I was just joking the other day about Tom McDonald, because I'm a huge hip-hop fan, right? And Tom McDonald's garbage. And it's not about his political content. He's just a shitty rapper. And I proved that the other day, because I said, I'm not a fan of Tom McDonald, not because of his politics. I do think he's cringy as fuck, but because he's a shitty rapper. No, you don't like Tom McDonald because of his politics. No. There's a guy, his name is Samson, and he's a dope-ass rapper. He's dope. And he says the same shit that Tom McDonald says, but he's dope. See, I can admit that even though that guy doesn't agree with me, and even though his politics are almost the exact opposite, he's still a dope rapper. And that's something you guys can't do. You can't do it. No, I don't know everything, and yet I still prove you guys wrong 24/7. 24/7. That's insane. A white trash trailer park ginger can sit on stream with maybe a year's worth of experience and show you verifiable proof and evidence. Verifiable is the most important word. It's not my feelings. Verifiable proof and evidence that you're wrong about the things that you believe, and you can't ever admit, I'm wrong. And when you can't admit that you're wrong, then you can't ever tell if you're right. Because you don't know what it would mean to be wrong. It's insane. Insane. Thunder, look what you just did, Thunder. Read that shit to yourself. Ask yourself what you just did. Ask yourself what you just did, Thunder. You're better than that. All right, anyways, let's watch the right hold the right accountable, because at least somebody can fucking admit that they're wrong sometimes. Jesus fucking Christ, this world. I'm turning into Titus. LB knows.
Global
LB
warming
knows.
It's fine. In fact, I heard it was
Mac
going to be very
Lethal's my
warm today.
man.
It's fine. It's fine.
I am just a ranting bitch online. That's it. Don't listen to me.
Adopt a distinctly
These are your people.
preamble, and then all
These are your
all
people.
the commandments must be legislated.
Every teacher, every classroom in the state will have a Bible in the classroom, and will be teaching from the Bible in the classroom.
They want electric planes.
Like I said, what happened, conservatives? What happened to small government? What happened to freedom? What happened to all these bullshit things that you told everybody about? What happened to them? None of this sounds like freedom. None of this sounds like small government. Because you're full of shit from the goddamn start. Full of fucking shit.
What happens if the sun isn't shining?
Yeah, no,
while
I
you're
watched
up
that,
in the
LB.
air?
It's dope.
Well,
It was
sir,
dope.
I told you there'd be problems, sir.
The fact that you have Donald Trump leading the country right now when he is not officially yet back in the White House speaks volumes.
What do you think about Taylor Swift?
It speaks volumes about how sick our society has become. It speaks volumes about how fucked up people have become. Because whether or not you like Joe Biden, his policies stand on their own. You literally can't even name the policies Donald Trump has passed. I can talk to it. I've proved it over and over and over again. How many of you guys have refused to play the game? How many of you guys have I challenged and said, I'll say something bad about my candidate, and you say something bad about your candidate, and then we're going to switch it, and I'm going to say something good about your candidate, and you're going to say something good about mine. How many of you have ducked that? How many of you have said, I won't do that? Except for you don't do it. You don't type it because you don't even have the balls to type it. Right now, anybody want to do that shit? Does anybody feel like playing the game? Do you? How about any one of you motherfuckers want to play the game? How about it? I'm not talking to you, Dark. You know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking to. You won't play the game because you're scared, because you're not everything you say confront your own bias. You never confront your bias. You say critically think. You don't ever critically think. It's just all words to you guys. It's just facade. You gotta be able to do that shit. Shut up, Thunder, unless you want to do it. You want to play the game, dog. This is, you want to play, Andrew? Andrew will play. Well, I don't know what your political beliefs are, so it might be tough. But, okay, Andrew, we got to start with who are you voting for? Who are you voting for, Andrew? So I want somebody to play the goddamn game. I want somebody to play the goddamn game. Okay. I'll tell you what. So I'm voting Biden. Do you have somebody on the left that you'd rather see than Biden, or I'll play devil's advocate? Okay, Andrew. So you. So let's play this from my point of view as devil's advocate. God, this is gonna hurt. All right. Who you want me to go with? You want me to go with Trump or with RFK? Chat, who do you want me to play? Who do you want me to play? Trump side or RFK side? Ridin wants to wait until after dinner because he's going to Google some shit right now. You want me to play Trump? Okay. All right, Andrew. So I'll start. Okay, I'll start. And Thunder, shut the fuck up unless you're gonna play the game. I don't want to hear from you unless you're gonna play the game because you're full of shit. You're just like every other doomer conspiracy theorist that comes in here, except you've been around longer. That's the only difference. Only difference, Thunder, is you've been here longer. Okay. So we're gonna start. The game is we're gonna say 4 things. We're gonna one at a time. I'm gonna say something that I dislike about my candidate, and you gotta say something you dislike about your candidate, and then we're gonna switch it up, and I'm gonna say something good about your candidate, and you have to say something good about my candidate. Okay? And the reason that we play this game is because most of these conversations are strictly appeals to emotions or conspiracy theory. And people oftentimes are unable to talk to policy, legislation, or just overall like things like, you know, administration and stuff like that. So I'm going to say one thing that Donald Trump that he did that was bad was obviously attempting to overturn the election in America. And I'm going to steelman it. I'm going to say it this way. I'm going to say, even though Donald Trump had every right to look into the election and make sure that it was a fair election, I feel like Donald Trump should have accepted the certification of the election because it would have been better for the American people as a whole. And at worst, if he was going to do these things, he should have probably not made them as big and bombastic as he did. So that's what I think he did. Redonk. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. So now, Andrew, on your part, you gotta say something that Biden has done that you think or you disagree with. You don't think
I think she's one of the most famous people right now.
Yeah, I think she's beautiful, very beautiful. I find her very beautiful. I think she's liberal. She probably doesn't like...
Father, don't pray for me.
Oh, this is the best.
Pray for our enemies. Right? Pray.
Shut up, Thunder. You don't want to play the game.
I need the prayers.
You're bitching out, dog.
She's very talented, but I think she's very... I think she's a very beautiful, actually. Unusually...
Something you disagree with that Joe Biden has done.
We had a smooth transition, and I think it's fair.
January 6th wasn't exactly a smooth transition, Governor.
Well, I think we have to say that there was a smooth transition.
He's Jewish, but he's become a Palestinian because they have a couple of more votes or something.
President Trump brought world peace when he was president for only 4 years. Only 4 years.
Shut it, Thunder, unless you're going to play the game.
The world's laughing at it. I just came back from overseas, and literally everybody's laughing at us.
And I said to him, listen, I'm not a flat earther.
I'm a round earther.
Actually, what I am is I am somebody.
There you go. So there you go, Andrew. Andrew, good job. See, you see what Andrew's doing? Now, you guys talk shit about the left, so you little bitches in chat right now that talk shit about the left, the only person that's playing this game right now is a person on the left, and he's playing it with another person on the left, okay? So I'm up here still manning for fucking Trump. He's over there doing his best to criticize his candidate, and all you're doing is sitting in chat telling other people about how you should be the one that tells experts that they're wrong. Play the fucking game. Okay, so my second one, doing my best to be a good Trump supporter. Doing my best. Let's see, what's the second thing that I think that Donald Trump should have been better at? Okay, here's a good one. Now, Donald Trump did a good job. He really did. He got Operation Warp Speed up and running. He may not have done the greatest job with COVID at the beginning, but he got the gist of the situation, started asking people what he could do about things, and he decided the best thing he could possibly do was get a vaccine and get an EUA, emergency use authorized. In doing that, I think that he did a great job. However, when he was out of office and that vaccine was pushed through, I feel like he presented conflicting information that kept people from getting the vaccine that he created, that his administration created. And that I think that he could have had a big win there, and I think that he fucked that up. All right, give me another one, Andrew. Give me another one, Andrew.
Who has left the cult of science.
Oh, we know you've left the cult of science. Dude, just wait till somebody comes in here and thinks
just
I'm an
wanna take a
actual Trump
moment
supporter.
to ask for your support today.
No, if you want to play the game, Ridin, we'll play the game. And I don't ask you, don't ask your wife. Nobody wants to play the game because in the end, all you got is emotion. That's it. And you got to just admit it. Why does everybody have a problem with just admitting shit? Why can't you just say, yeah, I don't know shit. It's true. It's okay. I am appealing to emotion. You're right. I'm fucking just going to do this way because that's how I choose to do it. Why can't you just say that? Because that's what you're doing. You're not talking about legislation. You're not talking about policy. You're not talking about anything of any real substance. You want to talk about dumb shit. You're talking about voting for one of the most powerful people in the world, and you refuse to do any actual research other than watching TikToks and looking at memes, man. Andrew, you got another criticism for me? Thunder, I told you, if you're going to be a little bitch, then be a little bitch. Okay? Just admit that you're being a little bitch, and then I can accept that. I don't spend all my time online, Redunk, and you know that's not fucking true. Come on, dog. Like I said, you know what? This hurts you guys' feelings, and it should hurt your feelings. Did you already... I said one more. Did you say one other than the other one I said? Oh, Joe Biden has 100% been good with the workers' rights. Give me one more criticism of Joe Biden, Andrew. Just give me one more criticism of Joe Biden. And then we'll move on to the good stuff. He's chicken shit. His failure to confront the Supreme Court case. Look at this. Once again, you guys talk shit about the left. You're talking shit about the left. He's right there. He's sitting there doing it. You guys won't do it. Oh, cry more, Redonk. Are you seriously crying about Bucket calling a dude chicken shit for not playing the game? Y'all don't want to play the game. You being bitches. At the end of the day, the one dude that you guys talk about and make fun of, the left, yeah, of course it sucks because you'll lose at it. Because you know that you're not bipartisan. I don't cheat. I literally give you the shit that can be verified. Look at OJ. He's not even playing the game. Andrew, good job. Good job. I've already acknowledged the Biden laptop. Thunder, the difference is you believe that there is information on the Biden laptop that can lead to a prosecution. There is neither denial on my part that there may be information. There is neither denial on my part that there is dong pics and crack pics and prostitution pics. None of that is denied on my part. Here's the thing, and it goes for all of you doomer motherfuckers, okay? Is you guys show me things, and I go, yeah, supposedly that's Hunter Biden's laptop. I can't confirm that because I'm not a person that can confirm that. But that is, and I'll agree with you that it is even. I'll give you the good faith that it is. And I'll go, I've seen the dong pics, and I've seen the prostitution pics, I've seen the crack pics, but I'm not hold people in judgment for that. I come from a place where people smoke crack, people participate in prostitution. I'm not going to be the first one to cast the first stone on there. Is he a good person? Probably not. But is that something that has anything to do with the political, aspirations of his father? No. If he runs for office, 100%. I've seen the emails that Comer and the rest of these guys have said link Joe Biden to these crimes. Yet, they won't put him on trial. And here's where we diverge. So I admit that all of this information exists, and then I caveat it by saying, at this point, nobody on the right is willing to put him on trial, which means that they do not have enough evidence to prove guilt. If they do not have enough evidence to prove guilt, then you are not going to get a conviction in a trial. That does not mean that he is innocent. That does not mean that he is guilty. That means that the evidence that they have does not add up to the percentage needed in a jury trial to find him guilty. Or at least they don't think so. That's not my opinion. That's the people doing the investigation. And the people doing the investigation are literally the people that benefit the most from having him put in jail. So when you say, I won't admit to the Hunter Biden laptop, what you literally mean is that I won't go as far as you will go because I know that that is fruitless. To get to a point in your life where you go, all of these things are true, and people go, well, there's no evidence for them. You go, but I think there is. And they go, well, show me the evidence. And you go, well, if you do enough conjecture and if you do enough brain work, then you can kind of think that somehow these things all add up to this one thing. That's where we diverge. I am a realist. I work with what is. I don't work with what I want things to be, and I don't work with what I think they could be. I instead start my hypothesis or my investigation at that point, and then I work towards evidence and proof. You guys all start at the hypothesis that you believe something did happen, and then you end in I believe something did happen. You never have evidence. You never have proof. If you did, they would have put him on trial. Come on. That's not why he said that in the fucking Hunter Biden thing. Are you confusing the two cases? This is my problem with you guys. You're not real. You're not. It is Biden's son's morals. If you're equating that, Redonk, then you also have to equate that with Donald Trump Jr. Do you also equate that with Donald Trump Jr.? It's not a double standard, you dipshit. God damn it, man. This is the thing with talking to you guys, is you guys just all of a sudden come up with this weird fucking shit. I can lay things out completely logically for you, and then you'll come out with some I think and I feel bullshit. I think that you have a double standard. There's no double standard. He was a crackhead too. Verifiably. Oh, I'm sorry, cokehead. Sorry, he did the good shit. Who's been found guilty of a felony, Thunder? Was it Hunter Biden? Was it Hunter Biden that was found guilty of a felony? Jesus Christ. At the end of the day, guys, if I tell you that I'm sitting here and I'm laying something out for you, and I'm admitting to things and saying that things are this way, and I disagree with them, but they are true. And in the end, you still get to the point where you say things like, but I think that it's still wrong. I still think it seems shady. I'm sorry, that's not how the world works. The world does not prosecute people on I think and I feel. You start investigations on I think and I feel. That's it. That's it. It doesn't end on it. That's her. That's the Robert Hur trial, Thunderbucket. The Robert Hur trial. I haven't seen that one, actually. Andrew, I need to look at that. Do you guys hear what I'm saying, though? This is the insanity of what you guys have become in the doomer circle. Is you guys think because you see a video with very little context, or it's been shortened and edited, you think that because you've seen a meme or some fucking person on TikTok saying certain things, that they're true. But you never actually verify that these things are true. You see them, it agrees with your bias, and you go to it and you say, this is true. When Donald Trump was in office, and to this day still, when he says something fucking crazy, I come home and I go, hold on, let's look into that. Let's make sure that this isn't an edited video. Let's make sure it's not taken out of context. Here's one for you. I'm going to do this, and then you will give me zero, absolutely no fucking respect for this. You will give me no credit for this. Let me go ahead and preface this with this. You will give me no fucking credit for this, because that's who you are as a person. I will say, when Donald Trump made the bloodbath comments, that I came home, I looked it up, I looked at it, and I went, nah. He was talking about the Chinese tariffs, that they would be a bloodbath. He meant that in a way that it would be a bloodbath for the American economy. Now, did he possibly use that language on purpose? Maybe. Sure. Why not? But did he do what people were accusing him of? I don't think so. But will you give me any credit for that? No, you fucking won't. 100% you won't. 100% you won't. You know why? Because every fucking time somebody says something that's correct, it just goes right in one ear and out the other with you fucking doomers. Every single time. And you're ruining society. You are. You're ruining American society. Because people right now need logic. People right now need strong leadership. People right now need to be able to look to experts because they know what the fuck they're talking about. Instead, they're looking to people on TikTok and YouTube, myself included. 0. Look at that. Hey, I'm glad that I was right. I'm glad that you guys proved me right. Look, not a fucking one of you doomers. Not a single one of you fucking doomers. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Not a single one of you doomers. Not a goddamn one. Tired of this shit, man. You're fucking ruining society.
25 over 7 months.
Let's watch
ago.
you guys talk about Project
And
2025.
now people
Bet you guys
are
won't
just
have a
beginning
single
to
bad
catch
thing to
on
say
how
about Project
dangerous
2025.
Project 2025 really is. Well, today I'm going to go deeper and show you how Project 2025 will unleash much more virulent, anti-black racial discrimination. Stay with me.
Yeah, you guys are getting yelled at today.
Hello, everybody.
Every once in a while, you gotta get yelled at.
Corbett, one half of the Defiant Lawyers, and each and every week we bring you at least one legal analysis of some trending story regarding politics, policies, personalities, or pop culture.
You want to know what got me worked up, Ridin? You want to know what literally got me worked up? It was watching that Terrence Howard shit. Because it's straight up what's going on in this society. Every time people give in to allowing people to have these fucking conspiracy theory bullshit, because those of us like myself, like Weinstein, even like Redunk, that are willing to say to people, sure, everybody gets an opinion. Sure, crazy shit does happen. The government has done fucked up shit. Sure, all of those things. We should be skeptical of things. We should agree that corruption is bad. This is why I'm worked up right now. Because that conversation was the perfect example of what happens when somebody that has the actual answer to the problem has to sit there and with kid fucking gloves help you because your feelings will get hurt if they don't tell you that you're right. That's why I'm worked up, because it is the perfect example of our society today as Weinstein sits there with all the fucking knowledge of all the fucking things in his expertise that every single person fucking knows, and he has to, with kid gloves, attempt to help him stop being fucking crazy, all while Joe Rogan sits on the side and goes, can't we just smoke weed and drink alcohol and let this guy destroy society? It's not that bad, right? Fuck, man. Fuck. That's what's getting me worked up. That's what's getting me worked up. At the end of the day, if you guys want to be respected, then you got to admit you're wrong every once in a while. You never admit you're wrong. I admit I'm wrong all the fucking time on this show. But you guys don't remember that, because of course you don't. Because you're like, no. I have a vision of who this person is, and this is him, and he's this. But over and over and over again, in attempts to reach you fuckers, I have sat here and told you I'm wrong. I've sat here and taken L's. I've sat here and agreed that I'm wrong in places that I'm not even sure that I agree that I'm wrong. I've sat here and played games with you guys to show you that I can confront my own bias. I sat here and did the critical thinking with you. I've talked about things like I've told you fucks that I won't sit up here and call Trump racist. I've told you fucks that I won't sit up here and say things about Trump and his daughter. But you don't give credit to anybody because you live in this weird fucking world where you've surrounded yourself with these doomer ideas, and if I can convince you that you might be wrong, then your whole reality is destroyed. Everything about what you live for no longer exists. And it's frustrating. That's why it's annoying. That's why it's annoying. Thunder, how many times have you came in my chat and I've given you a chance? How many times? How many times have I told you to send me shit? And how many times on the other side have you ever given me the same grace? How many times, Thunder? How many times? How many times have you came into my chat and I've talked to you and I've said I'd look at the shit you sent me? And how many times have you done the same for me?
To empower you with the information you need to define unjust legal system.
It's not just a give relationship, dog.
It really should.
It's give and take.
On a day like today. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell so that you'll get notified when we upload one of our powerful and informative videos. So we're going to talk about how Project 2025 will unleash much more.
Thunder. That's exactly what every single person says when I say something like that. Every single one of you say the same shit. I say, have I not looked into the things that you did? Have you not looked into anything that I've said? And then they say, look, you have to do your own research. I can't just like give it all to you. No. No. At the end of the day, you just want to be right. I am more than willing to look at every single thing that you show me. And every single thing that you show me, I then send you back the evidence that it's wrong. I don't tell you my opinion. I send you evidence that it's wrong. Every single time. You don't look at any of the videos that you're sent. You don't look at any of the information you're sent. And that's because it directly conflicts with your reality. Because reality directly conflicts with your reality. You want things to be bad. You want people to be corrupt. You want everything to be somebody else's fault. Because as long as it's everybody else's fault, you don't have to take accountability. You don't have to take responsibility. You can just feel like the world is against you and it's all unfair. And let's use the word. It's rigged. It's rigged. So you don't have to confront your bias. You don't have to critically think. It's just like religion. It just creates this nice, safe space to sit in that and tell the world that it's not you, it's them. It's they. It's the deep state. It's the Illuminati. It's anybody but you. And the reality is 99% of your problems are created by you.
Virulent, anti-black racism. That's what I want to talk with you about today. Please go get a copy of my book, Education and Justice, How Public Schools Fail African American Male Students.
I don't trust experts like religious idols. I trust experts like I trust experts. I don't have a sense of iconicism. The person I hold in the most regard is Einstein, and I disagree with things that Einstein said. This is the difference between me and you. And it's fine. You can project onto me all you want, but that's who you are. That's who you are. Einstein is the person I hold in the highest regard. And yet when he said God doesn't play dice, I didn't agree with that. When he said that quantum physics aren't real and aren't worth scientists' time, I disagreed with that. I can sit up here and do this all day long, and it won't have any effect on you. Because you are armored in ignorance. You are choosing, and I don't mean that as an insult. I mean literal ignorance. I look at all the shit that's sent to me. I read it. I watch all the videos. I research them. I go through hours and hours of research on my time to look into the things that you guys believe to make sure that I'm not wrong. I am literally reading an Ayn Rand book right now. Literally. I don't agree with the majority of what she believes, but I'm reading a book by her. These are all things. All things. Don't even say anything about Einstein. Don't even start. They're not gods. Dude, you cannot look for yourself. Thunder. If there is a mathematical question, you don't get to answer it. Weinstein does. And I'm not taking your opinion over Eric Weinstein's. 100% not. I don't give a fuck if you're like, look, I can list all of this information out for you. Look at how right I am. No, unless you can prove it, unless it's literally proof, and then it's checked by your peers, and it's proven and replicated, no, I'm not going to trust you. Why the fuck would I do that? Well, I don't know. You're talking to woke. And what up, Lady Freedom? You came into this is my rant stream today. Yeah, it was arbitrary. Actually, I agree with that, Thunder. But look, once again, I will say that you are correct. But that does not mean lockdowns did more damage than COVID. You don't know that. You can't prove that. Here's the problem with everything you guys say. Everything you guys say is I think or I feel. You have to understand the reason you guys, no one takes you seriously is because you never prove the things that you say. You say you have to do more research, but when I do more research, it proves you wrong. That's the irony, is you say, look, lockdowns did more damage than COVID. I look into the research. I look into your sides of the research, and then I look into the other side of the research, and it's proven wrong. The irony is the more research I do, the more wrong you are. And that's looking at yours. Einstein said that because he had no way to prove it 100 years ago. I told you if you look accurately from the view of a poor man, it's a book of warnings. Yeah, and I'm looking at it. This is what I'm saying, woke. This is what I'm saying. Woke disagrees with me on this. I'm now looking at it. I'm confronting that bias. I am reading to see if I agree or not. And maybe I come out of this. What up, Alan? Maybe I come out of this and I say, hey, you know what? Woke's right. Or maybe I come out of this and I say, hey, I think I'm still right about this, but I'm going to say why I think I'm still right about this. But everybody just wants to use I think and I feel. Andrew? I don't know. You talking to me, Andrew? You guys gotta remember, I got at least 3 people arguing with me at any time. Look, if you guys, hey, what up, Artie? If you guys want me to respond to something specifically to you, what up, Levon? Hold on. If you guys want me to specifically respond to you about something, please at me in the chat, okay? At Progressive Matters, and then it shows up as an orange block on my chat. Yeah, 6 feet was arbitrary. He said that. Masks were not arbitrary. Masks are misunderstood. Masks work. That's why they're still used in fucking surgical operations. That's why your dentist wears one. Once again, Redonk, you don't know shit about masks. You know less than nothing about masks, Redonk. Admit that you know less than nothing about masks, and then say what you said. Let's see. I was here for the day when you said Trump did nothing for veterans. You said you would read up on HR. No, I didn't in here. We'll do it right now. HR 8354. We'll do it right now, Mac. But once again, I will get 0 credit for this. 0 credit for this as I do this. Because you guys aren't reachable. Literally, I'll go and do this for me, and I'll do this for me because it'll help me, but you're not reachable. There's nothing that I can say that will ever reach you guys, and that's fucking disappointing. Okay, thank you, Andrew. Progressive Matters, you should really talk about the Supreme Court stuff that came out the last few days. I know, but these guys got me off on a tangent. Lockdowns didn't work. You guys crack me up. You guys crack me up. Hey, don't detonate me, Thunder. Here, hold on. This is not... What's the name of the actual... Here we go. Okay. HR 8354. God damn it. Why can I not find this? Passing the House, passing the Senate. Passing the Senate, signed by the President, January 5th, 2021. So first of all, one of the things I said to you, Mac, was why was it in January 5th? But you can see that it goes actually all the way back to September of 23rd of 2020. So that's why it was on the 5th. Do you have something on it, Mac? Hey, what's up, R's wife? Hold on, now I'm arguing with Mac. You guys have to like argue with each other for a minute while I read this. Okay. On January 5th, 2021, President Donald Trump signed H.R. 8354, the Service Members and Veterans Initiative Act of 2020, a bill to permanently establish the Service Members and Veterans Initiative, or SVI, with the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. SVI's mission is to support the department in its efforts to protect those who protect us all. The SVI is a proven and effective vehicle for coordinating the department's service member-related litigation efforts, as well as delivering training, technical assistance, and other support to assistant U.S. attorneys, service members, veterans, and their families. We applaud both houses of Congress for their... So this is a bipartisan action, so most likely this will be good. Their bipartisan action to recognize the important work that is being done with the Civil Rights Division and codify the role of the Service Members and Veterans Initiative within our organization. Civil Rights Division has been at the forefront of litigation and outreach intended to ensure that service members, veterans, and their family do not have to bear undue burdens caused by civil rights violations as a result of their military service. Okay, but I don't want to know what it does. This looks like this is just enforcement. Distribution of resources. In just the past year, SVI has organized multi-day training programs for AUSAs in order to create a nationwide network of enforcement where SVI has also conducted over 50 trainings. Okay, hold on. We just need an explanation. Let's just go for a straight-up explanation. We're turning this into a research. Fuck it. Sorry if I'm not entertaining, but we're going to prove to these people that they're full of shit, and not Mac, that you're full of shit. When you guys say you confront your own bias, you look into things. You don't. You only look into the shit you believe. Yet I sit here day after fucking day looking into the things you guys believe, and you give zero fucking credit. Okay, here we go. That's going to be better. God damn it, it's the same thing I just clicked. Is this just to establish who's doing the litigation? The bill establishes a service member veteran enforce federal laws that protect service members and veterans. Is this just like an overarching act? Matt, can you explain this to me? Because all this looks like to me, it's still fine. I'm not going to shit on it. Service Members Veterans Initiative. Oh, this is the enforcement of the service. Okay. Okay. Financial and Housing Rights. Civil Rights Division enforces the Service Members Civil Relief Act, which helps service members manage the transition to active duty through a range of protections regarding foreclosure, repossession, leasing agreements, evictions, interest rates, and default judgments. What is the SRCRA? The SCRA, a wide range of benefits and protections to those in military service. Military service is defined. Okay. So Mac, tell me if I'm right about this or not. Okay. So in doing this, okay, this is saying that the SVI is being enacted by the the legislation that Donald Trump passed on his way out, right? It's saying that the bill establishes the Service Members and Veterans Initiative with Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Like I said, so the argument was that Joe Biden had done things for veterans that Donald Trump had not. In this case, if we take the two things that we are weighing, we have the PACT Act, which I can tell you, it expanded benefits for military veterans that were exposed to substances like Joe Biden's son Beau was, as many people in Vietnam were with Agent Orange, right? So on the one hand, you have Joe Biden and you have the PACT Act. That's what he accomplished. On the other hand, what it seems like you have from Donald Trump, and once again, this is from the very bare reading of which I'm doing now, it seems like he enacted something that helped to establish enforcement of another act. Is that good or bad? I would say that both things are good. I would say both things, as long as they benefit our military, are good. But at no time have I ever sat up here and said that Donald Trump has never done something good. I, in fact, have oftentimes told you guys over and over and over again, I can speak to the fact that Donald Trump does things that were good that you can't, because you actually don't know anything about his policies. You only want to talk about who he is as a person or talk about your opponent. So in this case, yeah, I feel you. Mac, you're right. I didn't know about this piece of legislation, and I don't know that it's something that I would think was amazing or crazy, but I was wrong about the fact that he didn't pass a piece of legislation for the veterans in his time. He passed one apparently the day before he left. Yeah, Thunder, do you want to play the fucking game? Thunder, do you want to play the game? Stop avoiding that shit. Do you want to play the game? You need to approach your own bias and stop telling other people to approach their bias, because you don't do it. Do you want to play the game, or are you going to continue to duck it? And just at this point, you are just saying that you do not know enough about your candidate or the other candidate to speak well about the other candidate or bad about your own. Look at you. You won't play the game. You won't play the game. Okay. You want to... Andrew, you're still playing. Okay. So obviously, I'm a Joe Biden supporter. So I'm going to be able to say things that I think Joe Biden did. Okay, so let's just start. Joe Biden's PACT Act expanded relief and benefits for veterans that were, at that time, not getting the type of benefits that they should be getting, as we saw with Jon Stewart doing the same thing with first responders, because our first responders and our military are consistently left out in the cold, by our government and the fucking people that claim that they support them. So Joe Biden's PACT Act was amazing. So, Redunk, fucking, you know I'm arguing with everybody. Are you talking to me? Can you fucking, like, at me? Can you at me? Don't forget to like and subscribe while I deal with all these jackasses. Okay, say something good about Trump. While we're going to do that, we're going to watch this. Wild Thunder just continues to duck because she knows better, because she knows that she actually does not confront her bias.
I put out my first video about Project 2025
good job, Ridin.
over 7 months ago. And now people are just...
Oh, no, we're on... Okay. You had an issue with how Biden dealt with the rail strikes? Actually, I don't know that one. And you see how that works? Do you see how that works? Andrew here and me are on the same side, and Andrew just brought up something about Joe Biden that I didn't know. Wait, actually, I kind of do know about it. Okay. That's called confronting your bias. Confronting your bias isn't sitting in front of a screen by your fucking self, reading shit on the internet and being like, oh, I don't agree with that, but I'm confronting my bias. That's not confronting your bias. Confronting your bias is talking to another person and attempting to either still man their position or criticize your own. That's how you do it. It's very easy to play the game, Thunder. You continue to duck the game. You continue to duck the game because you know you don't know as much about this subject as I do, and you're afraid to talk about it. Because then you will have to actually confront your own bias. You will actually have to confront the fact that you do not actually critically think. You only eat the shit that Dave Smith feeds you. Because I know who you are now.
It's beginning to catch on how
now I'm really going to go in on you.
2025 really is.
Now I'm going to fight you and Redonk at the same time. Y'all can tag team. Let's fucking go.
Project 2025 will unleash much more.
Yeah, I don't know everything about everybody, Thunder. That's the difference between me and you, is I know that I have weak spots. That's why it's called Dunning-Kruger. Dave Smith's a fucking moron. I've literally... Do you want to watch the Andrew Wilson? Should we watch him get torn apart by Andrew Wilson on stream? He did right by the strikers, but he used his power to break the strike and was silent when he went back and fought and won most of their demands. Good call. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Thank you. Dave Smith is the representation of every one of you guys. Just enough knowledge to talk about something, like you know something about it, but not enough to know where you're wrong. That's the problem. Dunning-Kruger is literally a person that has just enough knowledge to speak confidently to it, but not know where they're wrong. That's the bad side of it. The other side of it, which is just as bad, but good if you're a smart person, is that most people that are intelligent and actually can confront their bias, know their own weaknesses, are afraid to talk about those things because they're afraid that they're going to be wrong, not for you, but for them. They know that they would rather go research that shit. They'd rather go research it. You can't call me on the cell phone. It doesn't work. You can't call me on the... Like, I still don't have the ability to put people on here. Can you send voice feeds through YouTube with Discord? Sure. Okay, hold on. Okay. Somebody walk me through opening fucking Discord in my stream. Somebody help me. I'm old. Okay, we're going to do this. I don't know if it'll work, but we're going to do it. No, but no, last time we did it, Redonk, you were just playing through the speakers into the microphone. It was actually really bad. I know that you won't play the game, Thunder. All right, hold on. I like that now there's like 7 messages in my Discord right now. Hold on, I think I need to play through my headphones. On it. Wait, output? Okay, that's what. I don't know, let's just try it. Here. Go into one of these rooms. Can you hear it go da-dong? Did people hear that? Da-dong. Fuck that. I call anybody names I want to call names. I call you names all fucking day. That's what I do. And you can call me names too. Welcome to my channel. No, Redonk, just join the Discord in the chat. Come into channel 1. Let's do it.
I hear you. Give me a moment. For
Okay,
fuck's sake.
Hold on. Can you guys hear him?
Good morning, Vietnam.
All right,
Shit.
good. Is it clear? Yes, clear.
Oh, now I gotta mute the stream. Oh my god, I'm hearing it twice. All right, I'm okay.
Yeah. You got to do that. Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay, look.
Who hurt you
making,
today?
Look,
Are you alright?
No, I told you I watched that Terrence Howard shit. I
ugh.
watched the Terrence Howard shit, and that shit made me mad. Because
The
this is
first
the fucking
Terrence Howard-
problem.
Remember last month when I said he was trying to finesse Joe?
We're not finessing Joe. He's fucking mentally ill. He's not finessing
he's like,
Joe.
nah, he taught himself everything. I get it.
Of course he did.
It sounded like bullshit to me. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I know that it
half
sounds
of
like
it-
bullshit to you. Here, let's pull it up. Let's pull up.
I
and
may
we're gonna
not
talk
know
about
like
it.
physics and math, but I know bullshit artists.
Yeah, and so do I, and that's why this shit pisses me off, is that there's so many fucking people right now, specifically in our society, that are like, he says good words, he says big words, he talks constantly and never shuts the fuck up, just like I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, that's a con man, dude. And he doesn't mean to be. He doesn't mean to be.
I know
I don't
better.
think that Terrence Howard is trying to get people to. He's not grifting, but he is 100% spreading information that is incorrect. And I'm not mad about what he's doing. What I'm mad about is that what is happening is the majority of our society right now is doing the same thing as the people in the comments of this, and that is they're watching him talk, and then they're gonna be like, wow, he's so good, everything he's saying is so genius. 1 times 1 doesn't equal 1, it equals 2. And
Those
then
people are always going to exist.
but I'm trying to reach these people.
I know, but some of them can't be reached. You can't turn everybody's mind around. You know that.
But we have to exist in the
You can
same
try,
society.
but you
Okay.
can't let it get you mad.
So hold on. Let me try something with you.
Don't let it blind you. Don't let it blind you. That's all.
And since I know it now I know who Thunder is. Okay, I'm gonna try this with you, and it's gonna be a little advice to Thunder as well. Okay, and that is the Socratic method.
don't wrap me up in that bullshit.
No. This is the Socratic method. Okay, if you want to change somebody's mind, you ask questions. You're not gonna tell somebody that they're wrong. Okay. So you're not going to just give them information over and over and over again and expect them to change their mind. Instead, you have to
need to show them.
You have to, yes. So in this
Don't
case,
don't tell me to do a job without also maybe showing me how to do it or being willing to do it yourself.
or also asking me if I understand it. So here, okay. What
And
do you
people
wanna-
will just say, yes, I understand it.
Yeah, and we don't want that. We want me to show you. Okay, so you.
Hey, by the way, I had Chick-fil-A and it was delicious. Shut up, chat. You don't know what you're talking about. I was here before you. I'll be here after you. So, yeah, shut up.
Okay, let's
I'm
try
a
and
mod.
make this.
I got a
let's
wrench.
Trying to make this in some way entertaining for the poor people that gotta listen to us. What is
5
something?
p.m., man. Come on.
What is something that you want me to try to understand?
I'm just trying to figure out what happened today, man. You're on one.
Yeah, look.
I don't
at
have any
Ron's
opinion to
asking for
push.
pillow talk. Okay, how about this? You ask Thunder what's something, and then or you put Thunder on here.
Thunder's in a different room. I don't want to dude, come on, don't do that to me. You're trying to get me fucked up.
Have I involved you in any of this? No, I haven't, right? Because I got
No, I don't even know what you're talking about because I haven't seen all that.
Okay. Oh, you haven't seen the million messages I've gotten? Thunder,
Hell no.
you've been hiding
I don't
this?
want to see them.
Oh, dude, you should take a look at that shit. Okay.
No.
Is there
give me
anybody
something
in
to
chat?
chew on though.
Oh,
Give
God.
me something to chew on because earlier I was in chat.
Hold
Like
on.
these guys, like y'all don't know each other. Like the way you talk about each other online like this, y'all don't know where we're all coming from. So
Yeah, of
don't
course.
just assume everyone. These guys, they all put like who they think I look a certain way. They think I vote a certain way. Like
Mhm.
you guys need to calm down and be a little more humble. Like it's you need to like get out more.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about that. So here's the thing. The thing
I
is,
believe in that.
don't
I
think it's-
practice it
I don't think
myself.
it's humble. I think it's the idea is that you have to give people grace and faith, right? And the idea
All
is
I know
that,
is
like,
that I don't know.
okay. All I know, what I know is what I know. Okay, that's a Joe Biden quote.
No, I mean
that's
that's
a Joe Biden quote.
that's Aurelius, man. I mean,
What I know is what I know.
all I know is that I don't know is Aurelius and Rancid. But yeah.
Yeah. So listen, can we agree that what you're talking about is when people in chat are saying things like you're a Trump supporter or you believe X or you believe Y, what you're trying to say is that you shouldn't put that on somebody without really knowing about it because you're initially creating a conflict with that person before you know who they are. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and also I think they're looking for that person to fight.
Well, and do you think that that's maybe something that was created through potentially my generation and your generation with like the trolling culture, that we've kind of created this this debate sphere kind of trolling culture where almost everybody is constantly on their heels and waiting to defend themselves from anybody that comes in the chat. Do you agree with that?
I think the older I get, the more I believe that these problems have been haunting people forever. I think trolls have always existed. It wasn't just, before the internet.
But obviously the internet has exacerbated the problem, right? Like it's made it more visible.
And it also gets the same people can reinforce their own ideas too.
Yeah.
Find other people that agree with them.
Echo chambers, exactly. So
True.
Okay, so can we agree that the best case scenario in something like that is to give grace and faith? So let me explain that. And when I say grace,
I try my best.
Okay, when I say grace, it means that if you say something that I disagree with, that I should have grace that perhaps I'm either misunderstanding what you're saying or potentially you have a good reason for what you believe. Do you believe like that's a good way to go about it?
You yourself could be wrong.
Yeah, or potentially what you believe it could be wrong as well.
Of course. And I try to follow that myself, and it's hard sometimes. I know, especially when something pisses you off.
Mm-hmm. And so the other side of that is faith, right? So do you also think that in that situation, the person should also have faith that you will correct yourself if you are wrong and see enough evidence that at that point that you will establish, okay, I understand where you're coming from, either that I misunderstood what you said or that potentially I'm wrong about the subject, like you just said. Do you think those two things combined would be good for a
Of course, but it's not a requirement. People lie. What are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. But so the other side of that, right? On grace and faith, when you take away that, you get judgment and punishment, right? Like, so if you take away grace, you have judgment. If you take away faith, you have punishment, right? And that's a negative to the conversation, right? Is if what I do is every time I enter a conversation with you, I judge you, like you said, before I have any information. And when you speak in a way that I disagree, I punish you, right? Like that's bad.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say...
I don't know, though. Yeah, people, it's not bad. I totally believe people should be judgmental if they want to be, and they should punish people if they want to.
Okay, so like what we see in chat right now is people saying like people lie, just like what you said, right?
People I don't know if we want to address chat because I'm not even looking. I'm just trying to focus on the conversation.
No. I'm gonna try and talk to you both.
It's actually really tough because I see chat scrolling by and like I want to say shit, but...
Yeah, I watch a video while I'm doing this too.
I know, it's incredibly tough. I didn't know.
I'm just asking you guys to give me some fucking respect.
Yeah.
Dude, like, this is not for me. Like, at the end of the day, I don't make any money off this shit. I want to legitimately try to reach people and help them to think better. I'm not trying to make people vote for Joe Biden. I'm not trying to make people vote against Donald Trump. I'm not trying to make people vote for RFK or against RFK. All I'm trying to get people to do is to actually legitimately use their brains and stop saying that they do. Stop saying they confront their bias when all they're doing is reading the same shit every single day from the same people over and over and over again. Stop saying that you critically think when you only think from one side of any single issue and always end up on the side that you believe in. So when I'm up here and I'm doing this, like I like the engagement. That part is for me. I like you guys. Obviously, I love you. I love you, Nicole. I love, not dead name anybody. I love everybody in the chat that I talk to, even the people that I disagree with. But there has to be a point, right? Like there has to be some type of conclusion for me specifically, maybe not for others. Maybe there's lots of people in YouTube that can get on a channel and just bullshit and they don't give a shit as long as the dollars are flowing in and they're feeling good and they're making money, right? Like that's what's important to them. But for me, when I get on this channel, I want to create connection. I want to help people to get to a point where they can legitimately say, I have criticisms about my candidate and I can say good things about the other candidate, because when we talk about what you're talking about in chat is that we have a disconnect as people and we have gotten further and further away from each other because of the internet. So I get what you guys are saying when you guys are, coming into the chat and you're saying, I think these things. But when people don't give any grace or faith towards my sides of the position, shit can be a little bit annoying. So let's talk about RFK. Like you want to vote for RFK, right? Did I lose Ridin? Is there anybody else in chat that also would like to come in here and speak? He isn't searching for black jobs. What's up, Don? I lost Redonk, so I mean he's probably eating his food right now. Let's read what the comments are saying. When there's hardcore proof and still people don't believe, that's the problem. Exactly, that's what I'm saying, Dark. So Dark, what I'm saying is we get to all have our opinions. We can all make I think and I feel statements. But if you're looking for a conclusion to any type of problem, if I say to you that in the city of San Francisco, crime has increased because of Prop 47, that's my feeling, right? And your side of the argument is I believe that Prop 47 has been good for San Francisco and crime has actually decreased in certain points. The burden of proof is on us to prove our side of the argument. So if I believe that crime has increased and I can provide statistics to show that it has increased, then your job or the other person's job would be then to say to me, okay, so you're showing me right now that Prop 47, since it was initialized, has resulted in more smash and grab thefts from big corporate stores like Target and Walmart. Yes. So you see those statistics. Yes, you have to at that point agree that that is evidence. You have to say, yes, that is evidence. And then you have to provide counter evidence to the fact that it is increasing crime. Now, at that point, you might say, okay, so you believe that we've had increased smash and grabs, but I can show you in other places where Prop 47 has actually reduced crime, and the effect of that reduced crime is actually more important than the increase of the smash and grabs. This is how an actual legitimate talk would go. And instead what we have from people is I say, this has happened. The other person goes, you're a racist. You're a douchebag. Your person's an idiot, whatever. Or, no, I just don't believe that. And you just need to do your research. And that's why what you're saying is true, is that you can't say to a person, when there is hardcore proof and people still don't believe, that's the problem. That is what I'm saying. We have to be able to get to a point where we say to each other that we can argue about things, we can have opinions on things, we can think, we can feel about things, but we need to be able to have a logical conclusion that's based in evidence and proof. Are you back, Redonk? Redonk, you're not very good at this. Hold on. Let's see what you got here. Miyamoto Musashi, a samurai ronin, philosopher that won 60 sword duels. Truth is not what you want it to be. It is what it is, and you must bend to its power or you live a lie. Well, and exactly.
I think I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm
there
back.
you go.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
My bad. Yeah, I was ready to talk about RFK. I was excited. Shit.
Damn, I got you excited too. Hold on, let me just answer Ben real quick. So yeah, exactly, Ben. That's what I'm saying. And my worry is exactly what happened with Giuliani, where Giuliani said there are a such thing as alternate truths, and I believe that people have taken that to heart. And this actually comes from the hippies. There's a really good Atlantic article from, I think, before COVID, like 2017, that talks about how the hippies' ideas of creating reality and being able to live the life that they want, that everybody should be allowed to do those things, has actually slowly but surely made its way over there. Wait, Redonk, are you back?
Okay. If I don't touch the USB cord, I think I'm okay.
Oh, did you break your mic?
No, my USB. No, my mic's awesome.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, so let's talk about RFK, because you asked me in text.
Yeah, last night. Yeah.
Yeah, why I don't think, or whether I thought that RFK would be somebody that people would be willing to vote for. Was that?
I was just trying to draw up. I was trying to draw up the similarity between how Trump got elected and how RFK is kind of in that same position right now.
Yeah,
it's just my harebrained opinion. Like every once in a while, the brain cells connect, and yeah.
No, you don't need to qualify it. It's a good question. Don't like
the Democrats do not want RFK clearly.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
In the text message, right? I said your main problem with RFK running as a Democrat is he won't take a firm stance on bodily autonomy, and that's just going to be a no.
It's only the only thing that matters is winning, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, not from my point.
And RFK is like one of the few people that'll get people to pull off of Trump and go over.
Mm-hmm. So
But I was saying that's why I wanted to bring that up. Like the GOP also hated Trump. A lot of longtime Republican dudes did not want to elect Trump, but he became to a point where he was undeniable. It's
Yeah.
like you either want to win or you want to be right. You got to pick one.
So that's a good point. That's actually a really good point. So what you have there,
Every once in a while.
no, you don't qualify it. This is what I'm saying. This is Dunning-Kruger. You're making a good point, but because you're smart enough to know what you don't know, you don't feel confident about it. This is literal Dunning-Kruger.
True.
On the other side of it, and that's why this is why I want to do this, is because I feel like it takes a lot of fucking confidence for me to get on this mic and talk to people and argue with people about this shit. I'm not like some kind of like narcissist that thinks he's gonna win all these things. I'm constantly having problems with what is it called, imposter syndrome, where I feel like
Are you
time I'm
sure
gonna get
about
on
that?
here- oh fucking A, dude, you know how hard that shit is to deal with. Like every time I get on here, I'm like, is anybody gonna show up? Like, right? Like, why does anybody give a fuck what I think, right? Like, that's literally what I do. I told people the other day, I tried to do that speak off thing, and like, I got on there and collapsed. I failed so fucking horribly because I have extreme doubts about my own abilities and positions, and the way that I deal with them is by confronting them, by getting on here and being like, fuck it, let's go. And once I get going, I'm good to go, but like, I have to confront that shit. So all I'm saying is, on your part, like, you have a good question, and you shouldn't feel like you have to qualify it by saying, I know this is fucking stupid. Here, let's talk about this. Okay, so.
Yeah.
I'm reading the chat, sorry. So
yeah, RFK going to the Dems, yeah.
So when we talk about that, you have a good point that RFK as a whole could pull like the portion, to be honest with you, the portion of the left that went over to the right during COVID, and that's the anti-vax left, the anti-big pharma left, and the anti-big government left, which they're full of shit. They're not anti-big government, but whatever. So those people that now reside on the right are part of the MAGA Republicans, right? That's why you see these same talking points coming from that side of the MAGA Republicans. They didn't have those opinions until after COVID. Before that,
one other group, the huge group of people before Trump and all this happened at Occupy Wall Street that were left, that went right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which is someone like me.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
We forget to mention like we all just like forgot about Occupy Wall Street. Crazy, right?
Well, that's the 24-hour news cycle. That's another thing. That's why I'm so against the TikToks and memes mentality, is because we live in this like this 24-hour news cycle where, very important information like that gets kind of left in the dust because we look at that and we go, oh, that happened, but now I'm talking about Trump. You know, now I'm going all the way over here now. And that's really important that you bring up that, because I wouldn't have thought about that, and that's why these conversations need to happen.
That's a huge group of people that were left that went right, weirdly. And those are the weird people that like don't fit in on the right. You're like, wait, what are you doing here?
Yeah,
like I'm kind of one of those people.
And that's why they end up in MAGA, right? Is because MAGA...
I'm like, legalize cocaine. And I'm like, abortion ain't great. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and like I said, that's what's made MAGA such a strange place. And then if you ask me, Donald Trump is the glue that keeps all of that shit together, and that's why they can't criticize him. Because they found a home. They've said, okay, like you said, even though these people don't 100% agree with everything that I say, they will allow me to exist within this group of theirs as long as I support Donald Trump. And that's why they're
and you have
hanging
the same people that are like, vote red no matter who. So blue no matter who.
Yeah, same thing on both sides of that. Blue no matter who, red no matter who.
Yeah, man. I see that on both sides because I live in a red state. You know that. And like, I hear the same arguments from the Cali people as the AZ people. It's just the opposite side.
Yeah, and so what I would say is that RFK could pull a certain percentage, and this is why I've said this since the beginning when people ask me if I thought RFK would pull.
I think he's the only one that could pull those people.
I
don't think Biden's going to get them
right?
to come over.
Oh, no, 100% no. Because right now what we have is this distinct division between the two parties because the politicians that represent them are so different, right? Like I said, I will fight to the death on Biden's policy because Biden's policies are hands down provable, verifiable that they have been good for the country, where Donald Trump's were not bad. Well, some of them were. The tariffs were bad, but they weren't helpful. and they weren't helpful for the future. So you have what I continue to say is an argument of symbolism. Donald Trump is symbolism versus substance, which is Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is not
Joe Biden's
capable.
party has substance.
Okay, so somebody
Joe
else argued
Biden's
with me.
lacking the substance a little bit, and
Okay,
we've talked
so-
about this as well. But like,
Yeah.
it's his team,
Yeah, and of course, and this is something
Yeah.
that I also argued
and
with.
Trump has a team too.
So I argued with Emmett about this, but he doesn't. I'll disagree with that. Biden is a manager, right? Maybe not before. Maybe in the past, Biden was more of a hands-on politician. But Joe Biden is a general manager, just like I am. I'm a person that runs a store. I don't expect to be very good at every single thing within my store. I expect to be good enough at it to be able to explain it to people and make sure that if they make mistakes, I can explain where they went wrong. But my way of managing is not to micromanage people and tell them that I want them to do things I want them to do, because I feel like that puts fetters on their ability to perform their job at their best if they can reach their potential, right? So yes, like Schumer.
That
is the one
sounds
who
really
actually-
complicated, but I mean,
Yeah.
also people don't like being be told what to do. They'd rather be shown
Yeah.
or have you get down in there and do it with them.
So it's like a fishbowl, right? Like you have certain fish, like what is it, goldfish? The size of the fishbowl is going to determine the size of the fish, right? And so what I do with my employees is I attempt to give them the largest fishbowl that is humanly possible for me to provide, while at the same time keeping in mind the things that my bosses want from me, right? Like, so I still have to have some boundaries on them. There has to be a fishbowl.
Don't
You
forget,
can't live in the
I
ocean.
also work in a large corporate setting. So
Yeah. And so what I'm saying is Joe Biden.
Bro,
is the
shut
type of
up,
person-
Mike. Hold on. This dude, bro, give me a break, man. I'm kissing ass now. Come on, dude.
Hey, Mike's
It's
my
the
dude.
dude that said I wasn't. He's not even eating dinner.
Yeah.
5 p.m. in America, bro.
Mike's here to talk
5
shit
p.m.
for
in
me.
America. Wake up.
Good job, Mike.
I got you. It's cool.
No,
I'm sorry you broke
banning
your
him.
phone, Mike.
That's right. You better be nice to Mike. All right. So if you see what I'm saying, is you're correct. And I just actually had this conversation, just so you know, like I said.
And hold on. Let me say something too. Like,
Yeah, go for it.
I'm not kissing ass now. The difference is that I'm not in chat and I don't have to stress my points and nothing else. There's no like when you text to people, texting is the fucking worst because there's no inflection in your voice. There's no humanity in it. Like, how can I elaborate my ideas or like even agree with you? All I can do is shoot my bullet points and hope they hit. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, and that's 100% true. It's
I constantly
once again-
feel that way in chat.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Like I said, if I can do this with talking, then I'll bring more of you guys on. I just don't know what the fuck. I'm doing. Hold
It's
on, I need to
unfortunate the
answer something.
chat's so popular and people are watching, right? No, it's great. It's cool. It's just there's a lot happening.
So Andrew's asking me, what's with the enlightened centrist bullshit? So I'm going to attempt to first say what I think he's saying. He's saying because I am attempting to find a middle ground in this conversation that makes it an enlightened centrist point of view. So anytime that you're having a conversation with another person, you do have to either find common ground or determine that you are not going to have a productive conversation. So even
And be
though-
polite.
Yeah, even though, well, I don't know. Sometimes you can talk shit. I don't have problems with, as long as you have
Sure,
the right
yeah.
person. It has to be the right person, right? Like you can't just talk shit to some random person and expect that they're not going to, talk shit back to you. So if you want to have a good conversation with them, you have to find common ground. So
Or worse.
or you just fight, right?
Or worse. Yeah.
What's that?
Like some people I don't think been hit in the mouth before.
Yeah, exactly, right? So what I constantly do, Andrew, when I'm having these conversations with people is, oh geez, somebody just got fucked. Is that I attempt to find the common ground and then work my way towards my side of the subject while the other person does the same for theirs, and then potentially we can come to a solution. So there's 3 types of conversations. There is a debate, there is an argument, and there's a conversation. So in a debate, we set the goalpost, right? We say, I'm reading this off the computer right now. Can former white nationalists offer apologies and get forgiveness? Like, So the idea of the debate would be one side says that they can and the other side says that they can't. And from that point, I'm not going to find common ground with you. I'm just going to try to make my point until I get my point across to the point that the audience thinks I won. Not the other person, not the moderator, but the audience. So in a debate, you're not looking for any kind of actual solution. You're just looking to make your point better than the other person. In a conversation, which is what this is, you're attempting to come to a conclusion or a solution that you hope that both parties at one point can agree is correct to a certain percentage, or at least can walk away from going, I got something from this that was productive. In an argument, it's just us fighting. I mean, that's the simplest one. That is just me and Ridin just sit here and go, you're a fucking idiot. No, you're a fucking idiot. Your guy's the worst.
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying because okay, so
anyway.
I'm gonna talk to Ridin a little bit. You tell me a little bit more about what you think makes me a centrist on this subject. So as far as what you were saying with RFK, so with the RFK thing and him pulling from side,
wanting to win and wanting to be right. Yeah,
wanting to be right or wanting to win. So part of our problem with our society is that, right? Like, and that's why you saw people on the left freak out over the debate performance of Joe Biden, is because they don't want so much to be correct about him being the person, the policymaker, the guy who's been the general manager and has made this thing work. They want to win. And I understand. They believe that there is this... What's that?
I think a lot of people also want to be redeemed for being told that, like being shouted at when you're like, Joe Biden clearly has some cognitive problems. And then they're like, no, it's a stutter. You're wrong. And then we have a debate and we all can see it in front of like, some people also want to just like stop being told that they're like lying, you know, when we all kind of know what's going on here, man. Like, come on.
Yeah, and I've said this on my channel since the beginning, and you've been here. You know me. I've said from the very beginning, saying that Joe Biden is not old is not only a lie, it's unproductive. So,
but I think that's what a lot of people are feeling when you said that. Like, it's also about that. It's also about having that thrown in your face and telling, don't believe your lying eyes. You know? But here it is in front of everyone, and we can't deny it.
And so right after the debate, I actually went to a right-wing conservative debate about whether or not, and of course they're crowing, right? They're all going, man,
no doubt.
We did so well. Like, you know, like we showed you guys.
Trump didn't say one good thing he's going to do in the future. That's all I wanted to hear from either one of those guys. Just tell me where we're going to be in the future. Stop trying to assassinate each other's character. The only thing he said was pure water. And you know what? I like clean water too, bro. At least clean water was the only thing I got out of that.
Yeah, and that's
otherwise
only
it was
like
just
kind of true, right? Like he was bringing back burning coal and shit.
Yeah, two dudes trying to insult each other about what they did in the past. I don't give a shit. Like, that's why I don't like neither one of these dudes. So,
yeah, and I get that. Anyway. And like I said, I've said before, right? Like as far as when I vote for a politician, right? I'm not looking at the person. Now, obviously, there's certain accusations that have been made against Trump and made against Biden that I would say are potentially very important things for us to know about, but they need literal evidence. I mean, evidence that can be proven in court for me to look at those things and personally disagree with them. So obviously on Trump's side, there are things that have been proven in court. On Biden's side, there's a lot of conjecture, and there's things that like potentially could be a poor, I don't know, it could show poor character. But what I want
also,
to see,
who wants to prove the leader who's in charge at the time wrong? You know, maybe there's some of that.
Yeah, and so the way I look at voting is that I want to look at your legislation, I want to look at your policy, and yes, I want to look at your administration. And the big part of that is, what did your administration, when I say your administration, I mean the cabinet, your Congress, your Senate, like how did you bring people get together to get things done? So in Joe Biden's case, he got a bipartisan infrastructure act done that hadn't been something that was done for like 20 years, which is, you know, very important because it's repairing our roads, it's repairing our bridges, it's repairing it also. So this is something people don't get about infrastructure.
Hold on though. Can I say something about that?
Yeah, go for it.
Biden wasn't an outsider. Like, he got all that stuff pushed through, no problem. And then when Trump came in, everybody ground the gears slow.
Yeah, but
you can't say that didn't happen.
But his
yeah,
own
even
party.
his own party didn't want him. Yeah.
And that's because, and I'm going to make this case right now, is that's not because Donald Trump's an outsider. It's because Donald Trump is not good at getting things done. Donald Trump is a narcissist, and he believes a lot in the self, right? Like, he thinks people should just listen to him because he's Donald Trump. Everybody's always said yes to Donald Trump. No one's ever said no to Donald Trump. And he doesn't understand. That's why he hated John McCain. Look, John McCain was a Republican. John McCain believed in putting caps on abortion. McCain believed in a lot of stuff that I don't believe in. But the one thing that I always gave John McCain credit for was that he was willing to reach across the aisle and get shit done. Right? Like, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I never liked John McCain myself.
Yeah, and so for me, and he was too bipartisan for most conservatives, right? Like, he was too willing, and people will say this about Biden, and people have even
John
said this about
McCain
Clinton and Obama. Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay.
They don't like that he worked.
I didn't like him.
Much.
Well, I mean, he crashed a plane and killed a couple airmen and walked away with it because his dad's a big shot. So, I never liked the guy.
I can't speak to that, obviously, because it's not something that I know a lot
That's an
about.
opinion.
Yeah, it's an opinion. Yeah. So, like I said,
and also he had brain cancer and didn't let go of the reins, man.
Yeah,
like you didn't let go of power.
There's too many people that do that, and we've talked about that ad nauseum. Whether it's Mitch McConnell or it's
Nancy Pelosi.
No, who's the one who passed? Fuck. Why am I forgetting her name? The lady from California. Anyways.
No, I can't. I'm on mic. I can't. He's gonna bark.
Let me know when you're back.
I'm back. We don't want the barking German Shepherd in here.
No. So, yes.
Hey, look, at least
Dianne
hates
Feinstein.
Pelosi.
Thank you, Jerry.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Well, this is what I'm saying. There's more common ground here than people actually believe exists. People have been pigeonholed into believing that they have to do one or the other, and then they're convinced to believe those things by appeals to emotion rather than fact. So when I talk about not wanting to vote for Trump, the reason that I avoid saying things like Donald Trump is racist, Donald Trump wants to do things with his daughter, Donald Trump is a sexual abuser, the reason I want to stay
character
away
assassination
is because, look, I'm happy to talk shit. I like to talk shit. I'm happy to talk shit.
It makes you look weak to saw out the legs under people like that.
Well, no, it's not even that for me. It's that I want to create a case that is defensible, okay? So that would make my case weak, not me weak, right? Like, so in me saying that, like, I like to talk shit, I like to get into it with people, I like to be confrontational, but in a specific instance where I'm talking about something as important as the President of the United States of America, what I really want to say to people is these are things that are defensible through proof and evidence, and I'm going to show you that they're better than the other person's case in this place. So me saying Trump's a racist, I could go back to what was the whatever Park 5 or whatever, and I can use certain examples, but those are really kind of hard to defend things because at one point or another people could say he could change, people could say, well, look at all these things he's done since then. So instead where I want to go is I want to say, as Mac pointed out earlier, Donald Trump pushed this one thing, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that was true. So what we want to see is which one of these things was better for veterans. And that would also mean that both people did something for veterans. One just might have been better than the other at it, but we're going to agree that doing anything for veterans is a good thing, right?
Hold on. This guy's like, any chance you could stop interrupting? Bro, I talk for like 2 minutes. He talks for 10. What do you want me to do?
No, yeah.
I want to address every single point he's making, but I don't have a pen. I'm not going to write. I'm not so petty right now that I'm going to write down every point he makes and then go back and reiterate after he's done talking. It's not that important, bro.
Yeah. And this is the first time, really.
Sorry for interrupting.
It's okay. We're fine. So let's do it this way, so that way it's a little bit more clear and communicative. So our main point here being that RFK is going to pull the most votes from the Trump side. So the question
Oh,
for
cool.
me
We're
for
back
you,
to this topic. Yeah, I got it.
okay, here we go. So my question for you is, how many votes from the Democratic side do you think, like what percentage, and it's fine to guess, I'm not asking for evidence, what percentage of votes do you think RFK would pull from the left, and for what reason?
Okay, yeah, we talked about this the other day, and like how many doesn't really matter. It's more of like a percentage, because the Donald Trump and the Biden race is really tight. So like, what is he going to need? 5%, 8%? That might be all he needs. I don't know how the number of how many votes that is. Obviously, why would I know that off the top of my head before chat jumps up my ass about it? But like, it's a close race.
Okay, so if I can help you out a little bit,
if he can pull anyone away from Trump, it's going to help.
Now, okay, so
it might make him win, even if it's 2%.
What if that 2% is from California?
Oh, because of the electoral vote thing?
Exactly.
I don't know. But not everyone, there's people that like RFK all the way across the country. They're not just in California. So it's going to be a little bit of everywhere.
Okay, so the most important places, right, would be, Wisconsin, Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Mexico.
States
Nevada.
have flipped in the last 8 years. Yeah.
Right? So do you think, now obviously this is just guessing.
Hold on. Also, like I live in Arizona, and let me tell you, for like the last 4 or 8 years, everyone that I talked to, they're like, I just moved here from Illinois. I just moved here from Washington. Like when I moved here 12, 15 years ago, like it's hard to find someone who actually grew up here. For real. Like they leave. They leave. Or, so like a lot of people are all new, and that's going to flip. That's why Arizona went purple for the first time in 30 years, because a bunch of people from the coast moved to Arizona. It's not because there's like a vast government conspiracy. It's the people voted for what they wanted.
Exactly. So there you go. See, this is
man.
This is what I'm
not crazy, y'all. Like I'm not some like radical dude.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, chat. I'm talking to chat right now.
Oh, okay. So this is what I'm saying is what you just said is very important, and that this is not a government conspiracy. There are things that we want to believe things are government conspiracies when they're outside of our control.
Oh, and people change. People grow up and change.
Yeah, and
it's also like you're thinking that the country is one thing, but there's people that are 15 years younger than you that think it's something else. And for them, like to expect them to believe the same thing of you is stupid. Like that's our gift as young people, is to see the mistakes that the people ahead of us made and not fall into them ourselves. But also we have to like look at the things that did work. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You're right. So
I'm more of like, I'm not like a facts and numbers guy. I'm definitely more like the philosophy of things, I think, when I talk. That makes sense.
Oh, 100%. There's people that debate.
Especially as I get older, too.
Yeah, and that's because that's gaining wisdom, right? Like you're joining in experiences, and this is why experts are important. Joining in experiences that have taught you things that later you can disseminate to younger generations, or even just other people of your age group that haven't had those experiences. So in your experience,
fuck my feelings, hell yeah.
Fuck your feelings. LB is one of my favorites too. Don't fuck with LB.
No, it's all good. I laugh about
it. So when you talk about Arizona, let's use that as an example. So you're saying,
and I did not grow up here, to let everybody know.
Yeah, you were one of the people that moved into Arizona.
Yeah, I am. I didn't move here to change things either. I moved here because I liked the way they were doing it.
And so in a place like Arizona, even in somewhere like Texas right now, Texas was closer to purple than they've ever been before. It was I'm saying that that's hyperbolic. I don't know that to be true. I believe that is true.
How many people moved to Texas from California? It's obvious.
Texas from California. Yes, exactly. So what I'm going to say there is, if you have a bunch of people moving from California to Arizona, and you're saying other places too, but let's just say specifically people from California to Arizona, people from California to Texas, people from California, let's say, to other places, because California has 39 million people, right? It's the largest state in the country by 25%, right?
I'm not meeting people moving here from other red states. Like not a lot of people from like Dakota or Kansas. Like the red states, they're not coming here. They're all Washington, Oregon, California, Illinois. It's
So to stay on
that's just
track,
my lived experience. Yeah.
to stay on track with the RFK argument, what I'm saying is that if you have people that are moving from blue states to red states, specifically swing states or battleground states, then most likely what you're going to see in those states is actually more red people being pulled over to the Republican side. I mean, that would vote normally Republican and less blue, right? Like because
and the other way around. Some people move to a red state and like it and change.
Well, that's true, but the policies. So this is one of the problems with people and believing in parties and always saying like you're a liberal or you're a Republican or you're a conservative. Most people have very complicated policy values, right? Like someone might believe like fiscally, this is the old thing that people used to do all the time. They'd say I'm fiscally conservative, but I'm socially progressive or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the idea that I believe people should have equal rights. I believe in LGBT. I believe in women's rights to bodily autonomy. But when it comes to taxes, I don't like being taxed, right? That's pretty much what they're saying. So my question is then if you have these battleground states that seem to have blue votes mostly moving into, does that strengthen the case for RFK to win those states, or does it weaken that case?
Because he has to win each state for the electoral votes. It's not just a popular vote to be elected, right?
Exactly. If it was popular vote, you would have a pretty good point. You could say, well, he only needs... Well, actually, if it was on the popular vote, it would probably actually Joe Biden would win it no matter what. Even if Joe Biden runs this year.
Because of California, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He'll probably win the popular vote no matter what.
Yeah, there's a reason we have that. But I think there's a lot of people that would walk away from Trump if they were given the option, but they won't walk away to Biden.
So here's my question with RFK, though. So RFK's like main reasons that people, well, okay, you have the actual reasons and you have the media reasons, right? So the actual reasons are that he won't take a stance on women's bodily autonomy. He kind of takes the Trump stance, and that is let's send it back to the states. But that's already been a problem. We've already seen that in Texas.
I like
We've already seen it in Tennessee. I do not, but let's get into that later. We're just going to use it as an example. Yeah, but abortion's a different right altogether, and we should talk about that in a different sense because we'll just get sidetracked, right?
Yeah, we will.
So we're just talking specifically about his stance. He will not take a stance, just like Trump won't, because he wants to use the out that it's not going to be him saying that there's going to be a ban. It's going to be these other people. So that in some ways, go ahead.
You're expressing a symptom of both parties and all politicians.
What do you mean?
It's very hard. It's so hard to find a politician that will like stand on one thing and be like, I'm for this. They all want to pussyfoot and please everyone. Like if you try to please everyone, it's gonna suck.
That's not true when it comes to
generally like video games. We try to please everyone when we make them instead of making them what we believe in, and they end up.
You're not targeting your audience. But can we agree though that the left is actually pretty staunch in defending women's bodily autonomy? Like that's not like something that they waffle on, right?
Yeah, traditionally, yeah, for like the last 40 years, right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is, in this specific example, we're talking about something that RFK is not willing to take that staunch stance on. Therefore, that's going to be the most likely single issue vote that will not go to RFK. If RFK came out tomorrow and said, I will no longer talk about pausing vaccine science. I will no longer talk about things like vaccines being possibly the causes of autism or injury or all these other things that he tends to talk about. And I'm not saying whether he's right or not wrong. I'm just saying if he stopped talking about that and said, I take this stance, and he were to come out tomorrow and say, I believe that the federal government should enforce Roe v. Wade and take abortion off the docket. It's a woman's right. It's her bodily autonomy. Once again, I'm just saying if he said these things, not that he will, then you could talk about RFK potentially being somebody that could take blue votes, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's some people on the blue side that would vote for him anyway, just over Trump. Anyone but Trump. That's it.
But what percentage in what places is the question? So, like it's like
How could I know that? How could I know?
Yeah, exactly. But that's the point of these conversations.
I believe it'll happen. Like I feel like if you give people the option, he can pull a lot of votes away.
Okay, but if you look at the two statements you just made, you made an I think or I feel statement that I believe that this would happen. but that a solid strategy is going to come down to the evidence within it, right? So even though like
but I have to think or feel something, or else I have nothing.
But you start at that. So the beginning of
Yeah,
any
yeah.
type of idea is to start with I think or I feel. So I try to make sure everybody understands this. When I say I think and I feel statements don't have weight, what I'm saying is that they are just a start of your...
I only thought of this like 2 nights ago, so I haven't done any research or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems very likely. Like I see a huge similarity between the way Trump was outcast and RFK was outcast. And even if you don't like him, you want to win. It's not about being right. It's about winning.
Well, is it? And that's like the real question. That's what we should actually debate is it about winning or is it about
There's no second
getting
first.
your values expressed? So that's a good... So let me just say this right away, is that on this topic, what you're talking about potentially is saying if you don't win... Okay, let me steel man your argument. You're saying that if Joe Biden, let's just 100% say Joe Biden has no chance of winning against RFK. Hypothetically speaking, in this hypothetical, Joe Biden has no chance. So
Being
you're
nominated by the party to lead, you mean?
So, well, no. I mean, because you're saying it's about winning. So your point of view is that RFK gives the Democratic Party the best choice to win. Joe Biden does not have the chance to beat Donald Trump, right?
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah.
Okay. So to stillman your side of the argument, it would be to say that RFK, okay, the argument is that we want to win, and it doesn't matter that RFK may not believe in bodily autonomy for women. It may not matter that RFK believes that vaccines cause injury, because the worst case scenario for America would be that Donald Trump were elected. Would that be a pretty good stillman of what you're trying to say? Did I lose Ridin again? Mic down. So the reason that these conversations happen, and in this manner, guys, is that obviously I believe what I think is right. I believe that we're on the right path to what we want to accomplish. But if I don't have conversations with people that push back, if I don't have conversations with people that disagree, then there is a potential that you're not understanding something about your plan or your defense of these types of things. And I've said this forever about racists. You want racists to say racist shit. And the reason you want racists to say racist shit is because you want to know, A, who they are, and B, how to defend yourself against them. And I'm not calling Ridin racist, by the way. What I'm saying there is if I'm going to argue with some white nationalist and that person says to me, eugenics are this is this, then I have to know those things before I get into that argument. And I also have to know, to use a different hypothetical, something like taxes would be a great example, that there's going to be weaknesses in those arguments that should be seen by another person talking to you. You back?
I got a bad USB cord, yeah.
Okay, so hold on, and Andrew.
This man called me a racist, and I must defend myself.
Okay.
I was enjoying a succulent Chinese meal.
My wife is gonna clip me calling you a racist.
Sorry.
Okay, so let me just point something out. First of all, like beans. I'm in chat right now. That's the very example of how you're never going to make any type of point, and that's the very example of a person just trying to troll, right? If you're gonna just say things like that, you're never going to have any type of real, actual conversation.
The Trump engine system is strong with me? Is that what he's saying?
Nah, he's saying it to me. But do you know that that's actually something the left came up for the right, and then the left co-opted, or the right co-opted it? That's like the funniest thing about a lot of that stuff is that actually that was said about Trump supporters from the very beginning, and then they took that. We're taking it back. But something Andrew just said is a part of what I was saying. Nothing recedes like progress. So when you talk about something, well, actually, that actually makes more of a point to your side of the argument, if you want to be honest. If we all agree at one point, and I don't agree with this, but let's say hypothetically we all agree that Joe Biden has no chance of beating Donald Trump, then at that point, the idea that RFK could be a viable candidate, you would need to ask yourself, as a Democrat, and this is important, you would have to ask yourself whether or not you would agree that running RFK would be the best chance of winning. And is it more important, and we'll just ask Chant, is it more important to win the election this year and stop Donald Trump, or is it more important to elect somebody that agrees 100% with your values? Right?
Or is it more important to vote for who you want to see win with your values, or do you just want to win, baby? Raiders. They never win.
Okay,
but, yeah.
that's I was gonna say, let's not bring the Raiders into this.
Yeah.
It's a bad
analogy. Talking crime scene. I finally made it.
So what do you guys say? And I'm not saying that we're going vote RFK. I've got a fucking video coming out on Friday I'm still writing with Biden bitches.
You vote for? Like, you have no choice. If the Dem Party says they're running RFK, unless you don't vote at all, which you won't, because you don't want to see Trump win, you're gonna vote RFK. Come on, don't lie.
Okay, well, hold on. Like, what we're getting here is we're getting that from chat, right? Like Bucket saying Bucket would vote for values. Andrew saying that Andrew would vote for RFK because he thinks it's worse than Biden. Not getting Biden as a left because we're going to vote RFK, but I think he's worse than Biden. I don't know if I understand that. Andrew lives in Cali, so yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right, Andrew.
You give him 3
You can
posts
always move, bro. You can always leave, man. You don't have to stay.
Yeah, well, you can leave, but California's the fucking best, and we can bait that.
Hey, man, I own a house now. I mean, like, come on, I couldn't have done that back there.
Robert, don't spam, dog. I do too. I live in California.
Robert is big mad.
Yeah, he's big mad. Look at him.
Robert, dude, just be cool, man. We're here to like talk to each other.
Yeah, but they can't. You know, that's the thing.
Well, chat's pretty rabid. To be fair, though, this chat is pretty rabid, man.
My chat is not rabid. Dude, go with Destiny's chat. You'll get murdered.
We need a name for them. We need a name for them, yeah.
They're the Angry Ginger Army. They're
the gingerbread, the ginger boys or girls?
Ginger snaps. They're my ginger snaps.
The ginger snaps, yeah. There you go. You're right. And I've been told that before.
All right, so let's stick to the conversation.
I eat with my hands.
We can even move in a little bit from it. Let's go to something.
Yeah. It was just a curious thing I thought of the other day. It was one of those high thoughts, and I'm like, it is very similar, dude. He's an outsider. They don't want him. Neither party wants him. No one's going to vote independent, though. If he runs independent, he will lose.
So this is what I will say. I believe RFK will
And I voted. I'm a person that's voted independent. I said that in chat earlier, man. I voted for Ron Paul. So, like...
Yeah.
But it didn't work out.
I'm a registered independent. I'm not
Me
registered
too.
for either party. But I'm not an independent either. If you actually read what an independent is, what the political party of America Independence is, I do not believe the things that they believe. I literally registered independent because I didn't know.
Definitions and meanings change over time too.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's why I continue to say. So let's say this. Don't you think it's a
everyone
good
wants
idea?
Everyone wants to nail things down and be like right now, but you can't always be right all the time. Like things change. You have to accept that like you're wrong sometimes, and sometimes what's right now isn't going to be right later.
Exactly, and that's why. So can you agree with this statement? I do not believe that people should choose to be in political parties. I believe people should have policy values that they express through by leading by example. Do you agree with that?
No.
Why?
Because I think you have to have parties so people can gather and learn and exchange ideas and stuff. We can't all just be in the ether.
Okay, so the argument is
groups are going to happen. It's just natural too. Like it's just like try to make people I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay. Hold on. Let me make a small point, and then you can rebut it. Okay. So
I did.
In saying that, you're saying it's better to be a bee than a chimpanzee, right? Like in the idea of Jonathan Haidt's two things, right? Is a chimpanzee is a person that kind of is doing their own thing, mostly works off of what they do. A bee is something that generally looks for a hive and looks for like a goal that is representative of the party instead of the individual. Like, does that make sense?
It's a little heady, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I like to use big words because it makes you sound smart.
Yeah, I know. I have a small brain.
So once again, we probably get to a point where we can agree that there's probably a balance between the two, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like, so
everything is a balance.
There we go. Yeah, you've been
yin yang,
long
bro.
now. Here we go.
Yeah,
everything in life is about balance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything in life is about balance. So in a position where you find yourself having to agree solely with your party, even though they disagree with certain values that you express. It's like you said like, you know, you find yourself over on the right more often now because of certain things, but then you say certain things and they're like, whoa, not that. My opinion of that is that we can both be a part of an ideology without joining the gang, right? Like, I can say that I have left-leaning progressive values. I have democratic liberal values, and what some people, which I think is bullshit, but some people would be consider to be conservative values, like space exploration and shit like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I also am not going to judge you for not being on a side, which is what I think happens a lot, and people feel like they have to choose one. Like, they're not willing to just stand alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me different. Like, I've heard that before. Like, I don't really give a fuck about fitting in. I never have. Like, but like a lot of people do. It's definitely something that people do feel like they need to be in a group. They need and like define themselves, you know?
And that's why we actually have a third group of people, and these are the people I call doomers nowadays. And that's a group of people that believe that they're not part of a group, but they have joined a group. You know what I'm saying? So what I think people like me and you end up doing is we constantly get purity tested by the three parties. Like, you've even said, I don't know if you've seen it, but Adam, right, that comes into my chat, who's a conservative, has at times been like, bro, you're a conservative, right? And that's clearly not true. But, you know,
not in all ways. Yeah.
But you see how, like, if you go too far into this party, they purity. Okay, so if you go on the left and you say something, let me think of something that I disagree with. Okay, obviously I disagree with certain policies from Joe. Okay, let's talk about the Gaza Israel thing. Something that would get me purity tested in the left would be my stance on America has to engage in Israel because of contractual obligations, even if I think it's morally incorrect for America to be involved in the Israel-Gaza conflict. I believe that it is very important for America to uphold its side of contractual obligations and support its allies. Like, that would get me purity tested on the left, correct? You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we need to be the world police all the time, yeah.
Okay, so if that got me, that would get me kicked out of that group, right? And on the right, if I said multiple things, like I believe in bodily autonomy, I believe that there should be red flag laws on guns, I could go on and on. That would get me kicked out of the right?
Probably, yeah.
So what you most of those people end up wanting to do, right, is go towards the middle. But unfortunately, the middle has now became this group of people that continually say everything is bad, everything is wrong, the world is going to end if these things don't happen. And I think that Trump appeals to those people more than anybody else. Do you agree with that?
Those people are on both sides.
Well, no. That's why I said the middle.
Are on both sides. Yeah.
That's why I said the middle. I'm not saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying it happens on either side. I'm saying that those people feel as though they've gotten purity tested by one side or the other and have found themselves in the middle, and now they're starting to instead believe everything is bad because everything they've seen or encountered is bad, right?
They can't stay in the middle though, or else they have no voice.
Yeah. So
at some point you do have to pick a side. It's like life. Like, you can't just be middle road of everything, or you'll just be middle road life your whole time. Like, it's hard to say that, but I think that's true.
No, it's shit or get off the pot, right? So
yeah, at a point it will reach out. And like when we go to vote, you can't just be in the middle and doom on shit. Like you need to vote for one side or the other, or else your fucking opinion's invalid then.
Okay, and so what you have right now, specifically in the middle, right, is you have RFK or you have Trump. Because most of the people that are doomers are not voting for Joe Biden, because the majority of what the media has done with Biden has been more effective. I won't say that they've done more than they have with Trump, but it's been more effective in the doomer community because Joe Biden is an establishment Democrat and Donald Trump portrays himself as not being a politician. Donald Trump is everything a politician is without the experience. He's in people's pockets. He's literally lobbied politicians with his own money to make his businesses do better financially and for him to get away with loopholes. He's used the tax codes to break those laws. So in my opinion, when you talk about the doomers, you have people that are either willing to vote for RFK or vote for Trump. Do you agree with that? He dropped his mic.
Yeah. No, I'm here. I'm just thinking. Dude, don't be. Oh shit, is she listening? You got to give me a moment to think before I open my mouth and speak. Sometimes.
Oh no, I
just because there's an opening doesn't mean jump in.
Yeah.
I think those people, those doomers in the middle, are some of them are from the left. Like, I think they are.
But they're left RFK, right? They're not left Biden, right?
I think they used to be on that that Biden attitude, but then they came to the middle. I think some people left the left party this year and last year, and
like you said before, people like kind of change throughout. And there's always been switches of ideology,
and they always will. Yeah, they're gonna flip flop just like politicians.
Okay, so what my point
Careful
is,
when you point your finger at these politicians and be like, they flip flop because you also flip flop. But whatever.
Oh no! That's not what I'm doing at all. No.
No. I mean, just people in general. I'm not you. Just I hear people say that they flip flop. So do you, bro?
Yeah.
But they're in the middle. They're in the middle, man. Yeah, the doomers are in the middle, or they're on the right, or they're just like, I'm not voting. So it doesn't even matter.
So just to get back to the RFK point is what I'm trying to get to. There is that. When we talk about who on the left is going to vote for RFK, it's a really like small amount of the left, unless
but spite. They're going to vote out of spite, and they're going to vote out of wanting to win. It's not just about president; it's about seats in the Senate, the Supreme Court. I mean, you know this. Like, it's not just you're not just voting for a president; you're voting for everything that comes with him. So you may not like the guy, but you'll still vote for him.
Yeah, and so it becomes, in your opinion, it becomes voting against Trump, not voting for RFK.
Yeah, or also, voting. People are voting against Trump and voting against Biden. The attitude's on both sides.
Yeah, but in
RFK.
a specific scenario. Yeah,
there'll be dudes on the right who are like, I'll never vote for RFK because he's a gun grabber.
Is he? Is he anti-gun?
That's what I've heard.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. And
he decided to get in the game way too late.
So to make it clear again, I am in support of Biden, but I will say this: RFK is going to get misinformation, or even I wouldn't say misinformation, that has been twisted against him by both sides.
Would you vote for RFK if they had made him the nominee? Or would you be like, I refuse to vote for him based on my own beliefs, and I'm going to vote for no one?
So 100%. No, you're right. And I'll be fucking 100%. This is confronting your bias.
I'm not going to blame you for it. Like, it's totally okay.
100% confronting the bias and critically thinking about the subject is to say, I don't want RFK to be the president because of his views on vaccines and his views on women's bodily autonomy, but 100%, I believe that he is less of a threat to democracy in America than Donald Trump is. I believe that RFK could possibly be a better leader than him, but that's not verifiable because I don't have any like prior experience.
You don't have any proof yet.
Yeah, so I can't say that. But if you were to say to me right now, it's Donald Trump versus RFK, no Biden. No Biden involved in the equation, then yes, I'm voting for RFK.
There won't be. Like, when we get there, there's not going to be two Democratic choices. There's going to be their one person they put everything behind. Like, I mean, we could have had Bernie, bro, but they they decided to push him out and put Hillary in and crash and burn.
Yeah, but here's the thing about that, and a lot of this is like
There wasn't a choice of Hillary or Bernie, you know, and they went with Hillary and they lost. Like,
yeah, and so what you're seeing there is, and this is the problem that most people have when it comes to politics, is that most people are led by their emotion, right? And so even in that case, as much as I like Bernie, as much as I wanted to see Bernie, well, yeah, for sure, but
and it's so hard not to be. You can't blame them. Like, it takes so much discipline to not let your emotions rule your life, especially like, I don't know.
Now, I disagree with that. Yeah. So I disagree in this way. When you say that I can't blame them, I can blame them. And that is, it's like freedom of speech, right? Freedom of speech, when people talk about the First Amendment, the actual freedom of speech that is enshrined in the First Amendment is that the government can't do anything legally against you for your freedom of speech. It does not mean that there are no, like, you can be fired from your job, you know, you can be chastised on X or whatever fucking social media you've been on. You can lose family members, relationships. You know, there's plenty of things ways you can be punished, right? Outside of the government's inability to do so through freedom of speech. The same thing goes with blame, right? If I say to a person, you should be better about not allowing your emotions to determine, and I say this to people on the left and the right, they should be better about voting for the person that you want to vote for, not because you like them as a person, but because they legitimately can do things for America and all of its people that the other person can't do, right? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. But there's the whole, like, there's just people that don't think that way. And I can't be angry at them for not thinking the same way I do. Like, controlling your emotions and thinking critically is incredibly difficult. Like, and some people just choose not to do it.
Okay, so let me try an analogy here. So in your job,
I'm not angry at them. Do I think they're wrong? Maybe, but like, am I gonna like hold that against them? Probably not, because that's just who they are. Like, it's. I don't want to be an asshole.
You might answer this in a way that I don't expect. So this is a good analogy to test this, right? Is to say, in your job, when you're working, and you have somebody that directly impacts, let's say, your pay rate, your happiness, your work environment, and other metrics throughout your job. If that person chooses to not do the work to research things to make your life better, but instead uses appeals to emotion, and those appeals to emotion can lead you to a negative outcome, do you hate that person? Do you blame that person?
I avoid them and move on with my life.
Okay, so see, that's like, that is
it's great.
The
like,
difference.
That's like when you loan someone $100 and they don't pay you back. You just paid $100 to get rid of a problem.
Yeah, so
I can't. Like, how could I let? Like, how would I? I do not want to let those people like influence the way I do my shit.
So that's only true, though, right?
The way I do my shit, that sounds so smart.
Yeah, but that's only true though if you can continue to be happy within that environment after saying that you.
True.
Don't
Yeah.
get, right?
If there was 90% of them doing that, but then at that point, I'd have to look at myself and say, "Am I the one that's wrong?"
What? I'm sorry. One more time.
Like, if you said, like, if that was a majority of the people that started acting that way, and I would have to look at myself and say, "Am I wrong?" Like, when it's everyone else is doing it that way, but I refuse to do it that way.
So this is where, like I said at the beginning of this, is there are, I think, and I feel statements that begin the investigation, and then you need to research evidence and proof and do you know the difference between evidence and proof?
No, go ahead.
So evidence is this is something that could lead to somebody being found guilty of something, but does not prove something. So in other words, like hearsay, witness testimony, not eyewitness, but like, witness testimony of something that happened. Proof is like if you murdered your cousin and I had video of you doing it, right?
Yeah,
so
like the object and the shadow that object casts. Are two different things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. One is a portion. No, exactly. One is a portion of the other. So what I would say in that instance where you say, what if I'm the one person? Should I immediately consider that I'm the one wrong, or should I consider that everybody else is wrong? Like, what is the determining factor for that? It is proof and evidence. And if you have proof that you are right about something, then that's indisputable. You can show people that, everybody will agree with you, unless they're, mentally ill and incapable of recognizing that that is 100. Like if you killed your cousin,
or just cognitively dissident, where they just refuse to admit that something's right because that would shatter them. That's a thing for sure.
Of course it is. That's why it exists. That's why it exists as a mental condition. But that's when, once again, you would look at the percentage of times that you believe the rest of the world is cognitively dissonant and you are not. And when you have a group of people that is very small compared to the large majority of people, and that very small amount of people continually uses the excuse that the other group of people is cognitively dissonant, at that point, the evidence rests on the side of the large majority that they're not the one with cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, you have to start thinking that. And that's like where we're at with this whole election too. I'm like, we're not going to know who's right or who's being cognitively until we all vote and decide.
Well, and here I'll be honest, when
the votes happen and it's done and over, I'm not going to sit there and cry about it was rigged or whatever. It's just I'm going to take it as a L or a win, and I'm going to walk away from it. Like,
yeah, of course, and that's I've said that this whole time.
Move on with life.
Me and Ridin tonight, guys. Oh, what's up? He hurts.
Yeah, dude, chat don't even need they don't need us. They're having their whole own thing over here.
Yeah, and that's a whole other part of this is creating a community that talks to each other. That whether or not you agree or not, that's part of this.
I wonder what they're gonna think about me after this, because we're in the chat all the time. So.
They're gonna hate you more.
Yeah, sweet.
So
the fucking hate flows through me.
So we can agree that most likely, if they were to make RFK the Democratic candidate, even though that's unlikely, I think he'll win. Most people would vote for him on the left, and there is a percentage chance that certain people, as long as Trump, this is my thing, I don't think that RFK survives a debate with Trump for the same reasons Biden didn't the first time. His inability to speak clearly. Oh yeah, RFK.
No,
so here's the thing,
way, dude. RFK is at least present. He has his own thoughts. He's poignant. He can debate him. He'll at least put a fight up. Dude.
No. Hold on. First, once again, a debate is not to prove you're correct or you're the best person for the job. That's not what a debate is for. A debate is to convince people that the other person is not as good at this job as you are, and what Donald Trump would do with RFK would be the exact same thing he would want to do with Biden, and that is not win the debate at the debate. He's not looking to win the debate there.
I understand that you think that's what the definition of the debate is, but you have to agree that there's a lot of people out there who just see it as a high school popularity election, dude.
Well, there's a percentage of people. It would have to be
a lot of people are pulling out the beer and the popcorn and watching the debate.
That's tough to determine.
They want to see two old guys fight.
Well, that's an I think and I feel statement. Once again, you're going to constantly run into this wall with me.
Yeah.
And this is the same
I just don't think everyone takes it as seriously as you do.
Oh, of course not. I don't believe that either. In fact, I've said that multiple times on this channel. I've told people all the time that they need to recognize that once you go out in the world and you talk to other people and you have these conversations with other people, there tends to be less bombacity. There tends to be less doomerism. There tends to be a lot more just people trying to live their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're at work, you don't tend to have these conversations very often, right?
Sometimes, but not long form like this. No.
No, of course not. And it not
Shit, are you asking if we fuck around on the clock and talk? Yeah.
Of course you do. But what I mean is those conversations don't tend to attempt to be productive in any manner. It's usually either complaining about shit or you're just making fun of something. You're not going to do the things that you're doing on this channel.
I don't have the time to. Yeah, I don't have the time to at work. Though. I mean, to be fair, I'm on the clock. Yeah.
No, I'm not at all chastising you or saying you're wrong for doing that.
But my homies that I work with at work, do we go out after work and drink beer and talk about this shit? Fuck yeah, we do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so this is what I'm saying is when we're doing these types of things and we're having these conversations and then we're going out into the real world and we're seeing that most people don't really want to have these types of like in-depth conversations, and I'm working towards your point. I'm saying that you're probably correct that the majority of people that are voting in any given election or watching any given debate, which is why I think nobody watched more than 20 minutes of that debate in the real world, right, is that is actually, to your point, that people probably as a whole would vote blue for the Democrat, regardless of who he is, and that would be RFK, right?
I think so. I don't think it would take much. Like, he really only needs to pull at 5-10% away.
Like I said, that's just you have to talk about when and where, and that's
And
a
even if
longer
they're
conversation.
not going to leave, no one's going to leave the Dem Party over him getting nominated. Like, they're not going to be like, I can't believe they nominated RFK, I'm out.
Mhm.
That's not happening.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. Because, well, and this is the question that you really want to get, okay, is what is going to fix a system that is creating people like Doomers, people like MAGA Republicans, and then two polarized parties like the Republicans, what's left of the Republicans, and the Democrats. Like, what can you do to potentially change things so that way you now have people fucking Mike's like watching video.
We
what
can
you
dude.
do? Yeah, we'll watch a video in a second. I just want to.
I think it has to do with how people are raised and educated as they go along, or like having both, a couple of parents. Like, as a child, like I kind of see like father, mother, child as like a little bit of Dem Republican. Like, mom's gonna nurture you and give you support. Dad's gonna make you do it the hard way, and you need both.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and declare victory because that's my whole point. All right? Because my point is that you don't need to be in the Democratic Party. You don't need to be in the Republican Party. You need a set of values that seem morally correct to you, that you don't have to worry about being purity tested and kicked out of your group for having.
No doubt. No doubt.
One of the things that I continue to hear from people is that the left doesn't criticize its own, and that's blatantly not true. Joe Biden has dealt with more critical criticisms about the Israel-Gaza side than any president in probably the last 8 to 16 years, including Obama. I think
in my short life, I voted independent, Republican, and Democrat. I didn't do it because I was on a party side. I did it because I voted for who had the closest, help me here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I voted for my
your morals.
My morals, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you should be doing. So this is
a lot of people don't, bro. They just want to be on a team. You know this. Like, they just put on that jersey and they're in it.
Yeah, and they want to. They don't want to be kicked out.
How many yards did Goff throw this year? I don't know, but he's a hell of a quarterback. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And that's the thing is I criticize my Eagles like I criticize my party. Like, dude, the entire year last year, the Eagles were 10-0, and everybody was telling me how good the Eagles were. And I have a witness to this. I went to Keith's house. Right. I sat there. I drank a beer with him, and he said, man, Eagles are doing good. And I'm like, no, they're not. He's like, 10-0. I'm like, they're shit. And he's like, what do you mean they're shit?
I'm on mic, God. Sorry. Well, I mean, are we at the bottom of this? Are we going to play a video?
Yeah.
I don't want to lose chat.
Okay.
Your cousin's
But I made my point, and I thought it was a good one.
Your cousin's
No. I agree with you. I think that was a very good point to make, and that is that Democrats have a decision to make. And on Friday, I'm going to have a video that comes out. And that video is going to be critical of the Democratic Party and the way that they handled Joe Biden's loss in that debate. But it also asks the question. And obviously, as I've said before, I'm not going to flip on this. I believe in Joe Biden's policies. I believe in Joe Biden's ability to manage the people underneath him. I will vote for Joe Biden. That's unless something crazy happens. I'm voting for Joe Biden every day of the week over Donald Trump, no matter what. And that's not because of Donald Trump's character. That's not because of Joe Biden's character. That is specifically because of the things that I list out in this video that comes out on Friday. And
if the party elects RFK, are you going to vote for him?
I would vote for RFK over Donald Trump.
I figured.
If yeah, and that's once again.
I don't blame you either, dude. And like I said, like it's got me wanting to vote for him. So
yeah, that would not be because of RFK's morals versus Trump's morals either. That would be because I would believe, like I know a little bit more about RFK than most RFK supporters do, right? Like I know that RFK was pro climate with climate change. I believe that he was pretty good about it. I know that he's kind of moved away from it a little bit, but like I said, that's one of the reasons I'm not voting for him. But I know that he has values.
I just don't particularly like him because he made his whole life about suing people, and I hate that. Like,
yeah, and there's we have
and there's defending. I agree with like defending people who have been hurt. Like, don't get me wrong, but like I just don't like that like culture of everyone suing everything because I bumped my toe or whatever.
Yeah, in America, we obviously like I literally have to tell my employees that they can't give CPR. Somebody's upset. I literally have to tell my employees they can't give CPR to a customer if they're having a cardiac event because
but you wouldn't stop them from trying to help. You can fire them after the fact, but you wouldn't grab them and pull them off the dude.
I would clock them out while they're doing it.
You son of a bitch!
Hey, like click.
No, when I worked at a big grocery store, I saw a car in the parking lot on fire. So I went in and grabbed our fire extinguisher and used it on their car, and I got shit for it.
Yeah,
so.
Because you can be held liable in America because we're very sue happy. So
yeah, I don't care though.
I'll tell you what. Let's watch
this video. I would rather help the person. Yeah.
Let's watch a bit of this video, and then I'll get your reaction to it too, because this is something that we can pretty much agree on, and that anything to do with Epstein is, at least in my opinion, pretty important, and it should cross party lines.
He used to be my manager, bro. Hold on, someone in chat. He used to be my manager, so yeah.
Wait, which one is it? Who said that?
Dude's like, he didn't like that. And I'm like, yeah, well, he used to be my manager.
Yeah, that's funny.
I'm a good employee too, man. Shit, I got fired for some shit that it turned out being somebody else. That like.
Yeah. All right. So, can we agree before we start this video that this is something that should cross party lines? This is something that the left and the right, regardless of who, let's not say that people are
voting
guilty.
For your morals and what you support, or just what?
Well,
yeah, I've always thought that. I mean, I was raised that way.
Well, I'm speaking.
That's how you're gonna. You wanted to fix that. How do we fix that? Like, you have parents that teach kids and raise them that way.
Okay, that's not what
we're not gonna fix. We're not gonna fix the people. Well, you asked this 15 minutes ago.
Yeah,
and then we left it behind.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, on your position, you believe that people should just parent from a better point of view of showing people that they don't have to be one way or the other, but you can have morals and cross boundaries. Yeah.
And you have to live that life too. It can't just be reading it in a book.
And you can't just say it either.
Yeah,
you can't be a facade. So I'm
going to try to mute my mic when the German Shepherd enters chat. My best that I can.
Yeah, good. So we're about to watch this video where he's talking about Donald Trump and Epstein. And we can agree.
Oh, yeah, this shit just happened, and it is gross.
Yeah, so we can agree that this is something that should be
liking young chicks has fucking been around forever. What is it, like date half your age plus 5 or whatever bullshit?
But we all agree, first of all, okay, so liking them is not illegal, right? Like, so we may think that morally that's shit, but it's not illegal.
And him saying young girls, like, we all want to think that that's 12-year-olds because it's Epstein, and I don't know, like, if you believe all that.
I saw that shit.
Like,
no, I read that stuff.
Epstein definitely did some weird shit. I don't know. We all just swept him under the rug, like, except for when it's involved with Donald Trump, then it comes back out.
But this is what I'm saying. In this case, this is why I'm prefacing this with this, so that way you understand. When we watch this video,
I just spoke about this before we watched it. Like, we were already talking about it here in the house, and I'm like, it's kind of like Donald Trump has to rub shoulders with a bunch of fucking people in New York, but it doesn't mean that you're friends with them. But you also don't just like make an enemy immediately.
Well, he 100%. I mean, you can pretty much prove he was friends with Epstein.
How do you think he got as far as he did? Like, you need to be kind to people, but if you suss them out as being a piece of shit, like, it's better to just slowly back away rather than be like, you're a piece of shit and create.
So you're saying, hold on, because I'm mildly confused. You're saying Epstein had to be nice and friendly to people, or he couldn't just.
No, Donald Trump. Donald Trump did. Like you're saying, Donald Trump is here with Epstein talking shit, and I'm like, yeah, but maybe he's just playing along, and then when he walks away, he's like, wow, what a dirtbag.
But
because you can't just go around your whole life. You can't go around your whole life telling the truth about what you think about people. As much as I'd like to, like it gets me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, so I'm not presenting this as proof. I'm presenting this as evidence.
No,
okay?
I saw this too, and it's gross. Yeah.
So
even if you're just talking about like young chicks, like it's still weird. You're fucking like 40.
It's wrong, and no matter what side they're on, whether it's Trump or it's Clinton or anybody else, if there is evidence, and this is important, if there's evidence that exists that something nefarious or against, let's not even say nefarious, something that is against a law, it doesn't matter whether it's on the left or the right or the center, that person should be investigated. We agree on that, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, like, if I sit up here and I tell you that I think that Donald
Trump should be investigated, but they shouldn't be immediately found guilty before we do any investigating.
100%. That I agree with you. I agree with you that what needs to happen is that you start with a I think statement, and that is, it seems like there's enough evidence that this. Oh God, you're so fucking weird.
Oh, do you hear that? Oh shit, I didn't mute my mic.
Mute yourself, okay? Mute yourself. We get and we're about to watch this video.
Don't forget, guys, if you want to be a mod, send your feet pics to @ProgressiveMatters. Sorry, Rex is under the desk and he's going real hard.
Let's just watch
Rex is licking them toes.
This is it too. I'm at my 3-hour point. So Ridin dominated the YouTube.
Hey, you asked for it, man.
You
asked for it.
I was trying to get you motherfuckers to talk with me.
Do y'all want to hear me talk shit more like next time, or should I just shut up and not come back?
Yeah. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this?
Because I'm constantly in here, and I definitely have shit to say on a mic at times. I hate being on chat all the time.
Yeah, and other people.
Someone needs to push back.
Come up here too. What do you guys think? Would you guys like to have more conversations on the stream? Now
Not
that
just
I think
me.
I know how to do it.
Yeah, I want to hear Woke. I want to hear Woke Dragon live. And I want to hear Dark Ash live.
I'm gonna put you and Dark in here. Bucket wants to watch the video. That's what Bucket wants. Okay, sorry.
1v1 me on Counter-Strike, bro. Let's go now.
California woman named Katie Johnson
right,
filed a report claiming that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein sexually assaulted her when she was 13 years old. Now, this would fit the pattern of behavior we've seen from Jeffrey Epstein,
got jokes.
but nothing ever came out of this report. In fact,
Show
Katie
more
Johnson went into hiding. But this report has been resurfacing on Twitter over the past few days.
I think you should play more Bill Hicks videos.
Likes, 80,000 likes. It's been going incredibly viral. And MAGA is not only melting down in the replies, but some of them seem to be second guessing their support for Donald Trump.
Which I just
read you the document, but first, I've been seeing tweets such as this one.
They've been on fire like all night. We asked them a question.
That Trump is who he says he is, but we know for sure that he knew Epstein. That alone is a red flag to me. I hope I'm wrong. Ace Politics on Twitter said
we have radio silence. This is so bad for broadcast.
What the hell did you nominate?
So, and this is just, these are MAGA people, right? So the big thing about the MAGA crowd, obviously, is justifiably
I'm not playing
so.
the stream. That's why I'm not getting it. Hold on, my bad. I have the stream muted.
Yeah, you can't hear it. Can you? Oh, I have to. Okay, so this is what makes this a
Don't
problem.
trip. I got it. I can do it. I can do it on my own.
You want me to share my screen through Discord?
No, I'm gonna read captions. I'm gonna read closed caption.
Okay. And we'll figure it out. Like I said, I didn't know
I'm
how to
doing
do
that
this
for you,
yet.
chat, so we don't have to spend time figuring it out.
Okay, so these
Closed captions
people are, for the
unavailable.
most
Wow,
part,
bro.
MAGA people, and one of the biggest things is that their basis of their belief is that Donald Trump does not do these things, but instead fights against these things. So this is the appropriate response to believing that your leader is against these things, but then seen in inappropriate positions or in inappropriate context with younger people, right?
This report has been resurfacing on Twitter over the past few days and getting 50,000 likes, 80,000 likes. It's been going incredibly viral, and MAGA is not only melting down in the
AJ
replies, but some of them seem to be second-guessing their support for Donald Trump. I want to read you the document, but first, I've been seeing tweets such as this one, the replies that said, IDK, I want to believe that Trump is who he says he is, but we know for sure that he knew Epstein. That alone is a red flag to me. I hope I'm wrong. Ace Politics on Twitter said, he tried to cover this shit up. Holy F, what the hell did you nominate MAGA? Not to mention Donald Trump was found civilly liable for rape just a few months back. I mean, this is a repeated pattern coming from Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And trigger warning going forward with this video, there's going to be some sensitive content, but this Twitter thread with the report reads, I don't know who needs to hear this, but Donald Trump raped and sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl from Epstein's child sex trafficking ring multiple times. Not just any 13-year-old girl, one that looked like his daughter Ivanka, who was 13 years old that same year. Her name is Katie Johnson. Here is the complaint she filed in 2016. After being threatened with death, she dropped her case just 4 days before the election. Donald Trump is a pedophile. That's why he was such good friends with a convicted pedophile. This isn't difficult to understand. Read her entire 6-page complaint. And all of this is alleged, but the complaint reads, the plaintiff, Katie Johnson, alleges that defendants Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey E. Epstein did willfully and with extreme malice violate civil rights
all
by
of this
sexually
is
and
alleged.
physically abusing plaintiff Johnson by forcing her to engage in various perverted.
Yeah, it's alleged, and that's important that it was not proven, but it is alleged. And here's the thing: if it's good for one, if it's good.
Sorry,
for
I meant to have my mic muted. My bad.
No.
I wasn't trying to interrupt.
It's good for the goose and it's good for the gander. So the majority of things that people on the right or all the doomers do is they claim all of these things that Joe Biden has done, and they claim all of them are 100% true. But then the moment that Donald Trump is literally taken to court and these things are alleged, it's, oh, they were just alleged. So if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
And depraved sex acts by threatening physical harm to plaintiff Johnson and also her family. The plaintiff, Katie Johnson, alleges that the defendants, Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, also did willfully and with extreme malice violate her civil rights, conspiring to deny plaintiff Johnson her civil rights by making her their sex slave. The plaintiff, Katie Johnson, alleges she was subject to extreme sexual and physical abuse by the defendants, Trump and Epstein, including forcible rape during a 4-month time span covering the months of June to September 1994, when plaintiff Johnson was still only a minor of age 13. The plaintiff alleges she was enticed by promises of money and a modeling career to attend a series of underage sex parties held at the New York residence of defendant Jeffrey E. Epstein and attended by Donald J. Trump. And keep in mind, while these are all allegations, that does map on.
So when was this filed? This is from
Jeffrey
1994.
Epstein used to lure his other victims.
I think it was actually, what was it, 4 years or 6 years ago? I'm echoing in your thing again here. When did Katie, here, let's just look it up. Katie Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, those first couple statements that he listed off on that people like were, those are people's opinions at first.
No, but
we're gonna have to prove
okay.
it.
So the people that, the reason he was reading those was because those were MAGA people.
Dark Cash, it does matter because I just always find it curious when people come out like 20 years after a thing when the subject's relevant again, and then they want to jump on it and file charges and stuff.
Well, I mean, as far as that goes, you're talking about
Like she could have filed charges at any point in the last 8 years before Trump. Well, I guess I was gonna say before he was president, but yeah, even then, you know what I'm saying?
The pushback to that would be that she was a
they
13-year-old
threatened her life.
child.
That's what she said.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she was a 13-year-old child. Do you think a 13-year-old child has the ability?
No, you get abused when you're a kid and you don't want to mention it.
And we both know that, right?
Yeah.
Like so. As much as I understand your point of view on that, my pushback would be that you're talking about a 13-year-old kid that would probably not want that. I mean, it would ruin your life. People even knowing about that shit would ruin your life. It looks like it was 2005. Is that what it says?
1994, and then all the later in 2005. So 10 years later, she would have been in her 20s.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not that crazy, to be honest with you. Not to mention the timing of it. If other people are coming out and saying stuff about it, I know people get really upset about the Me Too movement and how they're like, well, now all of a sudden these people are saying this. But a big part of being an abuse victim is that you feel ashamed. You feel like your story is unique to you and that everybody's going to judge you for it. And then when you see other people coming out, it's a lot easier to come out. So I'm not at any point going to say that, you know, every allegation that ever happens is 100% true, because obviously everybody deserves their day in court.
And then look at the time at which they're coming out, though. You know, like, is it beneficial to, what is it beneficial to?
Yeah. And so in this case,
I mean, if they find it, like, I don't like pedophiles, dude, I'm all for the wood chipper. So
that's what I'm saying. And this is something that should cross party lines.
Epstein got what he deserved.
So, and let me say this too, is you have to do the bias test. Ask yourself, if that said Joe Biden did those things, would you believe that he did those things?
I would say the same thing. Like, Joe Biden's up for election, and now all of a sudden it's coming up. Like, I would make the same. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
No. And the reason I'm saying that is not just for you. That goes for everybody, right? Like, so if you see something about Trump, you should put Joe Biden's name in. If you see something about Joe Biden, you should put Trump's name in. And vice
it's a
versa.
fun exercise.
Well, it helps you to determine your bias. It doesn't mean that you'll admit to your bias, but it does mean that at least, like, if that was Joe Biden, I have to say the same thing, right? If that was a 13-year-old that was accusing Joe Biden of those things with Jeffrey Epstein, I would need to sit up here and say to everybody that I think that seems pretty goddamn shady, and it seems like it would be appropriate for a 13-year-old to not, you know, or not appropriate, but it would seem likely that that person wouldn't want to do that at 13, that later on in life, when she felt a little bit stronger about her case, that she might be willing to come out and say that after years of hiding something as horrible as that. So,
and it's hard to explain away photographs of you rubbing shoulders with Epstein.
With that person who... So once again, this isn't proof. This is
and that's
evidence.
Like anybody, like even if it's not Epstein, like pedophiles in general, like it's not cool.
Yeah, no matter what, it doesn't matter. There's no political affiliation that makes you immune.
You were saying like you like to know, you like to see who the racists are. You like them to say that stuff and be open, because that way you can identify them and separate them out of your life. Same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing, exactly. Obviously, you just want people to do something about it. You don't want them just to go, oh, well, you know, hey, he's part of my party, so I don't think...
No, of course.
He would entice them through money. He would also use Ghislaine Maxwell to
and we're going to get more and more of
the
this as we get closer to the election.
How the 13-year-old Katie Johnson
this is actually
was forced
kind of older.
to pleasure
I
Donald
mean, these
Trump
guys are talking about now, but I knew
they
about
are
this like 2
disgusting
years
details
ago.
that I won't read out loud. And before I point out the total hypocrisy with MAGA here, I want you to watch this clip of Donald Trump on Fox and Friends. Now, Fox edited out this clip of Donald Trump being asked about Jeffrey Epstein, but he hesitates before saying yes to declassifying the Epstein files, and even says that this could affect a lot of people's lives. I wonder who he's talking about.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you?
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would. I guess I would. I think that...
And you got to admit, and like I said, difference between proof and evidence. And this is where semantics matter. Because the moment...
He didn't really hesitate.
He said, well, yeah, he did that. We'll watch it again. But it's kind of the follow-up to what he says when he does it twice that makes people wonder, right? And so, but once again, I was just going to point this out. People tend to get very defensive when they think something is proof. This is evidence. So evidence needs to add up to a crime, whereas proof proves a crime, right? So in this case, as it would be the same, once again, if that was Joe Biden sitting there and he did that and you were to say to me, well, that is evidence that a crime may have occurred, I would have to agree with that. If you were to say that's proof that a crime occurred, I'd say you were wrong, right? So let's watch him do it again here.
Declassified JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you?
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
He does hesitate.
I guess I would. I think that less so, because, you know, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole...
Okay, so you tell me, Does that seem sus to say that?
I don't know. I'm not taking it. I'm not like that bent on it.
Well, no.
Seemed
I'm
like a pretty normal
asking you
response.
your opinion. I'm not asking you to put Donald Trump on trial today. I'm just asking you your personal opinion. If somebody were to say, yes, I would declassify that. Yes, would declassify that. And then they ask you something that is specifically about a person that you were friends with, even if you claim that you're not friends with them anymore. But if you were, friends
that's
with
a great
them,
point.
Yeah,
Like, especially because you're friends with them and you've rubbed shoulders. There's photos of you together. Maybe you're going to stop for just a second, but overall, he said yes. He's not worried. He's not scared of it.
But hold on. But
he didn't waffle.
He did waffle.
He said, I think he looked at it and thought, well, I think for a minute maybe he thought, oh, I've been near that guy. I could be implicated. But
come on, that's waffling. That's not like not waffling would be yes. Not so that's what's called a qualifier, right? When you say something and then you go,
but
okay,
you're asking him about
the
the other questions they asked about declassifying were like things he's not even involved with.
Well, of course,
he doesn't.
But that's the point, right? The point is you're being asked a question about something that you have literally been taken to court for, where you were with a guy and accused of assaulting this woman. So you got to remember that this video is taking place.
Oh yeah,
years.
When they asked him his question, he's already been to court about it. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
So what
took me a minute. Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like,
but yeah, I mean, it looks like he thought about it and said, yeah, he probably, if he thought about it, he already been to court and been there was no conviction, right?
She dropped the case because they believed that she was being threatened. But that's hearsay. That's evidence.
Yeah,
proof.
that happens a lot.
It could be true that she.
It was a personal question to him. So did he hesitate for him? I'm not going to hold it against him.
Well, I'm not. Okay. Stop. See, that's emotion. Stop.
Yeah. Well, you're asking me to judge him.
I'm not asking you to hold it against him. I'm asking you whether or not that is evidence. I'm not saying it's proof, but it is evidence that may lead to a larger crime, like something that you would look at if you were if you weren't a Trump supporter, if you weren't a Biden supporter, if you were an FBI agent that was your job was to determine whether or not Donald Trump may have committed crimes with Epstein against younger people, and you were watching this video.
So
no emotion.
That wasn't a criminal court. That was a civil court.
Of course, yeah, no, that's probably why it was so long later. Most of those do end up being civil trials. That's the same thing with the E. Jean Carroll case. So also, to that point...
I just feel like you asked him about several scenarios where he wasn't involved, like JFK. What was the other one?
9/11.
9/11. He wasn't personally there for either, well, maybe for 9/11, but when you ask him about Epstein, he knows, oh, shit, I've been there, I've been involved in this, but then he still said yes.
But... does he, okay, so hold on, work your way through this. Does he necessarily have to follow through with releasing those files once he's in office just because he said yes right here?
Did he?
No, he did not. He didn't release them. No.
Oh, well, that's kind of fucked up.
Oh, okay.
I'm with you. I can agree with that. If he said he was going to and then he didn't, and we all wanted to know about Epstein.
So in the gist of this conversation, they're asking whether or not he would do these things, and he's claiming in the JFK file that he did. 9/11, he's saying he would, and then Epstein was where he waffled a bit.
How many of these did he follow through with?
JFK was the only person that. Well, he claims he released.
He didn't give us
JFK
the
trials.
fucking alien papers either.
No, of course not. So this is my point. Is even if he says that if he's elected again, he would release the Epstein files, that does not in any way, shape, or form mean he's going to. Because Donald Trump literally lied 30,000 times in his first 4 years in office.
He flaked on all of these that they just asked him about.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think they're asking him in the future, would you do it?
Not just the Epstein thing. Like, we're judging him based on, like, oh, he didn't really follow through with Epstein. Well, he didn't really follow through with any of these. So
yeah, so you're talking about a preponderance of evidence. You're not talking about proof. Like I said, proof would be like a videotape of Donald Trump harming this child, right? That would be end of story.
And we know what's so fucked up. Epstein was like, everyone thinks he was some secret agent. Like, where are the videos then?
Yeah. So those are other questions, and that's really easy to get.
I want to
down
see.
in.
I wish
And
they'd
so this
come
is
out.
something. So this is something I think that conspiracy theorists really fell at. And like I've said before, I actually am. I am for people being looking into our government.
Suspicious. Yeah.
I think that they should be focused. And this is what they do, is instead of saying, okay, so we have this person in front of us. He potentially did these things. Well, hold on. What about him being a CIA agent? And you're like, no, not yet.
No.
First,
I wish those
I know.
videos were there so we could get to the bottom of this bullshit.
Yeah. And if they exist, we want to get to that point. But we want to
Yeah, I want
deal with
retribution.
we want to deal with what's directly in front of
Roll
our
the-
face.
roll the tape.
Yeah, okay.
Play it live. Fuck it.
We agree.
But I think I would.
Oh,
Stop the hammering.
Carry a self-defense stick with you wherever you go.
Sorry.
Donald Trump's answer there was incredibly telling, but remember about 2 weeks back when I reported on the story of Donald Trump's pastor, the pastor that he appointed to help him when he was in the White House, Robert Morris, admitting that he sexually abused a 12-year-old girl, and then MAGA conveniently did not say a word about it. Fox News did not cover it. None of the right-wing outlets covered it because they want MAGA and the Republicans in America to stay insulated in their little bubble. I can't tell you how many times I've been called a pet.
But to be fair, what do we expect from these outlets?
Well, better. So that's the thing is this is something we all agree on, whether it's me and you or the conspiracy theorists or whoever, is that media 100% needs to be better, and part of that is stop having financial gains within media.
People need to be better. People need to be willing to be like, the person that I'm up for may have done something wrong.
Yeah.
Like you can't turn your fucking eyes away from it.
So in the case of that pastor, right? Like that's proof, okay? So it's not evidence. Evidence led to him giving proof. There was evidence through a witness, the child itself, claiming that he had done these things. In some way, he was encouraged to do it either by the church or somebody else, but he ended up saying that he did these things, right? So that's proof that he had done these things. I believe what he said was, I did not have a sexual relationship with that woman. I believe he said he did not do something sexual with her, but that he had done other things. So in that case, this person should be said is a pedo, right? Like at that point, there shouldn't be questions. There shouldn't be people saying things like, well, he could have done this or he could have done that. No, the man has admitted that he has done something, and that person no longer deserves you to follow them. And this is, once again, it is not proof that Donald Trump has done anything, but it is evidence that he spends time around people that do these things, right? So
That's a good question. These documents were just released yesterday from 6 years ago. Somebody in chat. Is that true? Yeah, I don't know.
These I would have to look at
highlight their.
They probably
comment?
were. Actually, no. To be honest, it's probably true because there's a specific amount of time before things like this get released, and I think that these ones are actually released. I want to say in Florida. Because that's where the case took place, and it was because of the American Information Act or whatever it is, the right to information or whatever it is, Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah, the FOIA. Yeah, man, fuck yeah, FOIA Act.
Yeah, so what we can say as far as evidence goes here is that if you have a person...
Let's let the kid finish. Let's let the video finish, yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Pedophile
'Cause I'm interested.
by a
I haven't heard
Republican
this, so it's new
simply
to me.
for supporting President Biden. They think that all Democrats are
Oh, I'm not
pedophiles
even
or
playing
want
the
to
stream
harm
anymore.
children.
My bad.
But when actual Trump allies begin to harm children and hurt them and sexually abuse them, when Donald Trump himself has been found civilly liable for rape and has been accused,
Oh, I just
credibly
got served
accused by
an ad.
over 20 women, MAGA
What did you-
prefers to bury their head in the sand. I saw Marjorie
Claritin,
Taylor Greene speak
yeah.
a few months back, and she said this verbatim. I'll never forget it. She said, the Democrats are the party of pedophiles, and the entire crowd started to cheer. So I don't want to hear anything from MAGA when the leader of your guys' party, the man who has the entire party wrapped around his finger, has been credibly accused of sexually assaulting women and raping women more than 20 times. This document continues. On the third occasion involving the defendant, Donald J. Trump, the plaintiff, Katie Johnson, was forced to engage in an unnatural lesbian sex act with her fellow minor and sex slave, Maria Doe, age 12, for the sexual enjoyment of Donald Trump.
Yeah, let's
Apparently,
skip the
after this
gore,
act,
dude.
both girls were
Yeah.
forced to pleasure Donald Trump
need all
at the
that.
same time. Absolutely revolting. Johnson then explains how in the fourth and final sexual act with Donald Trump, she was tied to a bed, forcibly raped while she was
Okay, we don't
having
need all that, yeah.
abortion. If any of these accusations are true, then Donald Trump is
There
a
we go.
far worse human being than we could have imagined. But again, we don't know if they are 100% true because they never made it to court and no evidence was actually ever presented. But then Katie Epstein went on to explain the sexual
Let's let him
encounter
finish.
she had with
Yeah,
Jeffrey
yeah.
Epstein, and they seem to map on perfectly to what he did with other victims who actually provided evidence. She said that he was forced to give her a full body massage while he was completely
these
naked,
things
and
were
we have
proven.
heard similar reports from other
By the
people, and these
prosecutors to
reports
their
have
own
been
fucking,
proven true.
witnesses.
So again, I'm sick and tired of MAGA projecting with everything. They call Joe Biden a criminal. They want to impeach Joe Biden. They say Joe Biden is a threat to democracy and a pedophile, when Donald Trump is the one who is an actual threat to democracy. Donald Trump, again, has been credibly accused of sexually assaulting many women. Donald Trump is the one who is losing his mind on a daily basis and wants to push our country into a Christian theocracy, yet people like to bury their heads in the sand. I think we need an effective Democratic Party that can unite on messaging and show that Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy, that the Supreme Court is working
That's
on
a
behalf
push.
of Donald Trump right now. Because at the moment,
Well,
the Democratic
maybe
Party is
not.
so
That's,
split that we have people
dependent
wanting
on how you
this,
look
people
at
wanting
2025.
this.
was
We
his
can't
opinion,
unite and have
yeah.
a cohesive
Yeah, of course
message.
his opinion,
And right
yeah.
now, Donald Trump is just steamrolling through our democracy. But it still blows my mind that Donald Trump was ever in the Oval Office for a first time, and we will make sure we fight day in and day out until Election Day to make sure Donald Trump never steps foot in the Oval Office again. This is somebody who is not equipped whatsoever to deal with the problems facing our country today, and we need to spread the word. There are many ways we can get our voices out there, so don't lose hope. We can phone bank, we can canvass, we can donate to the...
So let's just talk about what you're about to talk about. So
Yeah,
the evidence, right? Like you're about to say that about the evidence not being provided. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, he was just saying like the Republicans bury their head in the sand and refuse to see the stuff, and it's like both sides do that, bro. Like we have,
so
we're talking about like diaries as proof and accusations. Like, don't make me bring up Biden's kid's diary saying that he touched her. Like it's the same.
Well,
And they also don't. We all want to act like that's not true.
Hold on.
I mean, Pedo Pete, like all this shit. Like
the diary, as I understand it, does not actually say that he touches her. It says that he is takes showers.
I don't know what
with
it
her.
says.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I take
that's not.
showers with my children, so that's like saying I'm one, and that's
But you're not their grandpa.
No, that was with his children. It was.
Was it his daughter?
Yeah, it was his daughter's diary. Anyways, let's
weird.
not
Anyway,
go there.
it's
One of the
so
things I
hard to
have to
get
be
news,
careful.
like, from
One of the
this
things I
kid
have to be
because
careful
it is
about.
part of his like attitude.
Yeah,
it is like his opinion. I miss the news where it's just like they tell. I guess I can't say I miss the news because we never got this, but like facts, not opinions.
So
and now
that's what I was about to say.
people run it with a banner like it is news, and then they take the news and then they give you their opinion of it.
Okay,
It's
so
tough.
this is what I'm saying is, this is how I think about things, right? Like I hear all those words, and then I pull out certain things that I understand, that all the like emotional shit like I don't try to buy into it, right? So this is the
It
things
sucks.
that I worry more about, right? Is so in the case of the young woman that brought the civil suit. So when you talk about a civil suit is more likely than not. So you'll only have to prove that something happened by 51% or more evidence. And oftentimes, if any real evidence exists in something that has such an appeal to emotion as something like a child being harmed, you're most likely going to find that somebody like Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein would have been held liable in that suit, because Jeffrey Epstein already at that point had been accused by the 13 and 14-year-old, I believe, in the Florida cases. So there's already pre-existing, precedent. So what I would say about that is when you have a person, and once again, this is, I think and I feel, this is evidence, not proof. When you have a person that has already been put on trial for these things, and then they are being civilly sued, and there's evidence of any sort that may exist to prove 51% most likely that it happened, more likely than not, because these people aren't going to be criminally prosecuted. So there's no prison
And this is a
time.
judge only, right? Not a jury?
Yeah, I believe so. In civil trials are jury trials. Civil trials are actually jury trials. I think you can ask for it not to be. I don't know specifically for this one, so I shouldn't speak to that. So in that case, the fact that she drops the case is strange because of the fact that she's most likely. So when they say things like that she is being threatened, it's credible that she was being threatened because it's likely that she most likely would have won that case and made a lot of fucking money off of it. I mean, what did
even if she didn't win the case, she could just walk away and take the money.
No, you would have is a a plea deal. Yeah, she would have settled. In this case, I do not believe that's what happened. I do not believe she settled. I believe she dropped the charges. So that's a very strange thing to do for a person to go through that much. And this is one of the things I try to explain to people about.
Imagine, I don't know, is it though? Imagine trying to keep up a criminal or a court case with Donald Trump, who has unlimited money, and you're just someone who's accusing him.
No, we're speaking of the same thing. I'm saying that most likely these things happened to her. Most likely she could have proven it, but most likely she stopped trying because of the very thing you're talking about, as well as maybe the votes of harm. However, that is not proof. That is just evidence. But when you start to pile all of these things
most
together,
likely to you.
Yeah, most likely to me, and that's my opinion. That's nothing to do with, once again, you would need to prove this in front of a jury, and that jury would have to side with you, and it would be all dependent on your ability to do so. But I'm capable of saying those two things. If you understand when I talk about critical thinking, I talk about the ability to hold two ideas. And that ability is to say, on the one hand, I 100% believe that this thing might have happened, probably happened, and could have been proven in court that it did. On the other
simplest answer is usually the right one. Yeah.
Yeah. And in this case, well, if I were to provide further evidence to my belief, you would also ask yourself, why would somebody put themselves in a position where the world would know that they were harmed in this way just for money? Like, this isn't like I was 20 and he, at a party groped me. This is, as a child, I was harmed by him and his friend in these very explicit ways, right? People tend to think.
And you have
really
Epstein there. Epstein goes a long way to making it believable. Like if Trump was out of the situation and you just said this was about Epstein, I'd be like, yeah, probably right.
Exactly.
So that's a little bias on my part. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to accept that.
Yeah, and that's good. That's what you should be doing, and that's what everybody should be doing. Is in this case, let's say it went through the proper channels. It was finished, and they were found innocent, and there was nobody found liable for this. Even though I may feel like this is that was, let's say, that wasn't justice, right?
There's so many cases like that, though, like where people know they didn't get justice, but they have to just settle or back away from it,
right? So in this case, my point of view is that we're seeing something that most likely was something where she was in some way threatened, or as you said, maybe not even threatened, just saw that there was no real chance for her to win it. But that means,
or is there's also the possibility of her knowing she was around Trump, being able to prove she was near him, and having someone come to her and be like, hey, could you help us with, it's people still conspire.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I don't want to blame the victim, I'm not trying to do that, but like, if you were looking for ways to get at him and you said, here's a vector, like he's points of contact where we can prove they were there, and then you fill in the blank.
You got to ask yourself.
It is a dirty politician race,
But that was 2005.
Yeah.
That was 11 years before he ran for president.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? That's like, if you're going to say that, like, the appropriate, like, maybe defense would be it's a money grab, right? But if you're going to say it's a money grab, then
and even if he wasn't running for politics, it could just be an angle for cash. That's true.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you follow through?
Well, run out of money yourself. Imagine imagine being a person and trying to fight Donald Trump's legal team.
Yeah, no, and that's something I'd have to look a little bit further into. I couldn't really like defend that, so I won't, right? I'm just saying my point of view on this is when you talk about the pastor, when you talk about the number of accusations, when you talk about, so this is like, somebody said this. They said,
there's a pattern. There's a smoke, there's fire. Yeah.
You're starting to build evidence towards it, and it's the same thing that the right attempts to do with Joe Biden with things like the diary or with Tara Reid and those types of things. And this is where I will say that I am not going to sit here and have bias. I will say that if there is evidence that leads to the potential prosecution of a person, whether on the left or on the right, I am for it because I am against this act morally.
But whether this happened or not, it's already been settled, and we're not going to be able to bring it up again because it's been settled in court, right?
Yeah, I believe that at this point, like, she can't ever do that again because I believe that's double.
So people bringing this up right now, it's not going to do anything.
The reason it's being brought up, obviously, is because they're trying to show that he has poor moral character, right? So
yeah.
The question is it appropriate to bring it up or not? And I believe, in my opinion, it's appropriate to bring it up because he's going to, be the leader of the United States of America potentially. And we want to be
I won't fight you there.
Yeah. So, my headphones are going to die soon. So, we had a pretty good conversation, right? And we were able to have dissenting points of view, right?
Mike hates me.
Yeah, right. Well,
hang on my nuts, Mike. Turtle my balls.
To everybody that came tonight, all right. I'm gonna finish up now. Ridin, you want to
tomorrow night, Mike? You can get on and talk for an hour and a half and provide us with content.
Mike's just mad that we didn't watch the videos.
You can have a voice and you can trash me all you want.
Okay. So, do you want to say anything else before you go? You want a closing statement?
No, it was fun. Like, I'm glad I got on the mic and I wasn't scared to like talk and say what I think, you know?
You did a good job. No, you did a great job.
Yeah. Instead of like just fucking typing and being mad in chat, like do something else. Like that's why I went to that stupid Donald Trump rally, dude. I wanted to see people. I didn't want to just be on the internet.
Yeah.
If there's something in your town that pops up that you can drive to, go do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
It doesn't have to be Republican or Democrat. It's just the weekend was open and it sounded fun. Like I was drinking beer, so whatever.
Yeah.
But get out there and do something. Register to vote. You know, vote for who you think's right. Shit.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I think I want to see Woke Dragon on live on Discord, dude.
Yeah, and
or some of these like outspoken people, Uncle Fatty. Like some of the outspoken people have been here for a long time.
Yeah. 100%. Adam, like I said, Adam's a conservative, and we can have Adam come up here and talk. If this is something, this is redunk dusted. If it's somebody, if you guys want to do this. Now, I have to say this, and I should have said this before I brought you on here, but we have to be very careful about the things that get said in Discord on the channel, because that's a good way for the channel to get banned. So even the stuff we were talking about tonight can break TOS. And we just got to be careful about some of the jokes that are made. If you guys ever hear me up here, a lot of times I make sure that I don't say something like the KYS. A lot of times I try to avoid any type of really sensitive topics like we did tonight. But some of these things just have to be talked about. And you want to be very careful about the potential of something being okay, so this is one thing I won't do, right? Like, we can't have, like, long-form conversations where we argue about conspiracy theory, because, unfortunately, that will lead to the potential ban of my channel. So we can talk about in, like, kind of short-term ways. We can talk about it in, like, kind of roundabout ways. But getting on here and, like, you know, just hate talk or attempts to, you know, go way off the grid into crazy, like, you know, the crazier places, not the, like, just normal conspiracy theory bullshit, but the crazier places. I just can't have that in the chat, or else I can get in trouble for that kind of stuff. So just so everybody knows. All right. So everybody, thank you for being here. Adam, for those of you guys that I didn't talk to you tonight because Redonk was stealing all the spotlight, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'm thankful for you guys being here. Good job talking to each other. I know that, like, you guys aren't always having productive or fun conversations, but you should be talking to each other. You should be having real conversations. And even if you think the other person is completely full of shit, you should be learning to defend your positions. You should be saying to yourself that these conversations do not scare me. These conversations prepare me and make me better capable to have, conversations where I feel I can defend my positions. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you. I want you guys to remember the rules. I want you to remember that the rules of the channel is we don't ask people to harm themselves. We do not tell people that you're going to harm them, and we stay away from the child harm topic as much as possible. If you guys feel comfortable talking about things in a manner that does not demean or desensitize people to those accusations, you can do it. But if you are talking about the harm of children in a way that will desensitize, in other words, using it as an insult against another person, or saying things that are blatantly not true just because you dislike somebody, those things, if a moderator bans you, that's on you. I'm going to let you guys know that, okay? All right, guys. I love you guys. LB, thanks for being here, LB. Uncle Fatty, Agoff, Andrew, thanks for being here, Andrew. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please like and subscribe to the channel. We have live streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Apparently, we have conversations on stream now. We also put out videos every Friday. I have a video coming out this Friday, and it is going to be a bit of a criticism of the left and their abandonment of Joe Biden over a bad debate, and also at the same time, a realistic view of whether or not it is time for Joe Biden to talk amongst his people and determine whether or not he is the person for the job. So I think that that's something that we all should encounter and be honest with. I support Joe Biden. I support Joe Biden's policies. I support his leadership, his administration, his cabinet, all of those things. And I will 1,000% vote for Joe Biden every day of the week over Donald Trump for those reasons. So have no fear. I have not abandoned like so many others have. I have faith. But that doesn't mean that these things don't get to get talked about. We still want to talk about it. So I appreciate you guys. Send feet pics to not to me. Send them to Redonk if you want mod powers. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the stream, please do. And like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Saturdays, 5 p.m. Pacific. What day is it today? Is today Wednesday? Okay, today's Wednesday. So next stream is Saturday at 5. Check out the video on Friday at 5. Join the Discord. Join the Angry Ginger Armor. For only 10 cents a day, you can support a Soulless Ginger and his chances to one day actually know some shit that he's talking about. All right, guys. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.